Well, we're just a couple of dudes, man. That's it.
Oh, you're not a couple dudes. Are you talking about? You're the coolest like father-son team I've met so far. Now, I will say, Jonathan and Johnny Stonecipher are pretty crazy, but hopefully y'all won't be that crazy when you get older. So I want to welcome everybody that is on the live feed. We're going to have a ton of fun tonight. Guys, we have Blayne and Tom Stark right here. They are in Colorado. I'm in Arkansas. We're gonna talk about some cool stuff. And if you don't know them, I've got Blayne's channel over in the comments, wherever side that is that you're watching on. You've got to check out the channel. Dude's got like 8 videos up, 860 subscribers. So if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the dude's channel. We got to get him over 1,000 subs as fast as possible. We got to get this dude making some money. Got to get that YouTube money, right? Car part money. That's what we always call it. So
that's right.
I want to start off. I want to thank our sponsors, of course, because without Andy's computer repair, I wouldn't be able to be here in the shop doing live feeds from here and not the dinner table, which is always a big plus. So thanks to that dude. And thanks to Hawassi Tire and Lube, Jarrett and those guys have new tires set up for us for the old truck and the cart once I get the trans back in the cart. So all of that content's coming. I think I'm going to attempt a rebuild on an automatic transmission by myself. I don't think I'm going to take it to a shop. I think I'm going to attempt it. So it ought to make for really good content if it works or if it doesn't work. I don't know. So Narc's cart upgrades and updates coming soon. Okay. Enough of my crap out of the way. We got to get to you guys. Are y'all ready?
No, that's awesome, man. We're just a couple guys here.
Oh, yeah, right. All right. So why don't you guys give us just a quick kind of 10,000-foot flyover intro and tell us who you are and definitely just a smidgen about the car because we're going to talk about it too.
Well, I guess a 10,000-foot flyover is I'm Blayne's dad. That's Blayne. And that's the wagon. And I'm just the guy that pilots the thing. That's it.
That's awesome. So it's an LS car, right? And a stick. So
nitrous powered.
It is a nitrous powered LS stick.
Yes.
There's nothing magical about it, right?
That's about it.
That's about it. All right. But now, Blayne, tell us about you, dude.
So I'm 13. I know probably the most drag concept car things that any kid knows.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
Like, not trying to brag or anything, but that's kind of it.
Well, I mean, dude, they don't call you crew chief for nothing.
Nope.
So I got to ask this right out of the gate. I know it's not in the questions I sent you guys, but what's it like being at school? Like, you know, kids talk about fast cars or kids talk about their uncle's car or dad's car or whatever. Like, are you like, yeah, but my dad's car's real fast and you know about it? You know what I mean? So like they're telling all these stories and you're like, that didn't happen. Does that happen a bunch to you?
Well, it's kind of funny because all of them, like, they're all talking about, you know, their dad's car goes 200 miles an hour. I'm like, all right, that's cool and all, but is that real? Then they get on to talking about what engine's in it and how the engine works. And I'm like, good for you. You think you know what you're doing.
That's funny. You're one of those guys that just lets folks talk themselves right into the hole. And you're like, hey, you know what?
Pretty much. And then I'm like,
yeah.
You're like,
I can explain it.
You guys want to meet down at the track? My dad's got an old car. He said he'd race.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's not a lot of car kids around.
No.
I mean, there's a couple, but they don't really. It's kind of sad, really, because I know when I was little, that's all I did. But
yeah,
I don't know that I had a lot of friends that knew what we were doing. So,
well, and you know, it's funny. Everybody always jokes about, you know, hold the flashlight for your dad, you know, type deal. And I've tried to, anytime my daughters are remotely interested in anything I'm doing, I'm like, yeah, get over here, turn that wrench, take that door off, you know, all that kind of stuff. They had a ton of fun with the cart. I didn't let them go get wild with the Sawzall, but I did let them take doors off and stuff. So they enjoyed that. I do want to say Jay and Wendy Stack here said Blayne's got a great teacher.
You know who Jay is?
Yep.
So I got to tell you about Jay. What's up, brother? Jay is, we grew up in high school together and we tore up some stuff together, right, Jay? He had a big block 71 Chevelle and a 93 Cobra. We had a lot of fun together, Jay and I did. It's great that you're on here, man.
That's awesome. So that'll make for some good content or good comments definitely later. I'm sure Ed,
if Jay hangs on for a while, yeah, he should be on the East Coast too. So
oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then Travis Wise, another race week or another drag and drive guy. He says the future of the sport rests on his shoulders and he wears it well. Talk about you, Blayne. I can imagine.
Well, I hope so. I mean, we're just doing this because we like it. It's not, I don't push this on him, and we do this together just because we both like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay says you shift the wagon much better, and he misses you guys.
Yeah, I see. There's lots of people commenting already. Yeah.
Yep.
Travis Wise. Yeah. I don't know. We probably talked and seen each other, but we haven't met really formally because we're generally so busy racing, right?
Yeah. You can't get a word in with Tom. You can talk to Blayne a little bit, but like Tom's over there doing stuff, and then like Blaine's like, all right, man, I gotta go. I gotta go. Always doing stuff.
Yeah.
You guys stay busy for sure. So
that's part of running a Nitrous stick cars.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Stick cars are hard on things in general, and then you add in Nitrous, and it just gets about 10 times worse.
Yeah. So the question I have, do you guys spray out of the hole or do you bring it in? Is it like a progressive ramp?
Well,
that's you. I don't do that.
We are just trying to get the power up. As soon as we let the clutch out, the power's on.
That's awesome.
There is 2 kits on it, and we have not fired the second kit. All of Race Week 2.0, I guess, we ran 1 kit, and it was flawless all week. In fact, we didn't even.
You didn't even like push it on it.
Yeah, we never leaned on it. We were just trying to get through the week from the grief we had before.
That's
The
crazy.
griefs are out here somewhere.
Then we got home and it nipped a plug, number 8 spark plug. So we've been kind of chasing that a little bit here home. So
that's crazy. Richard Edward or Dirty Panda on YouTube says Blayne got me playing that No Limits game.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's pretty good at it. Him and Doug Cook, they're pretty tight, of course, and Doug's sponsoring some of that stuff now, right?
Yeah, he's in the making of working on a little bit of stuff from No Limit.
Yeah.
The motion stuff in there, so.
Yeah, it's pretty
cool.
fun. You get to actually tune your cars in that, and it responds pretty well. Because it's a video game. I'm not a video game. Well, he's really not either. But this game, you can like change gear ratios, and it works. It actually makes a change. So it's pretty fun.
I'm gonna have to find some time to do that. I think.
I don't know where you find it because I don't have any.
Yeah, that's all I need is one more hobby.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, Carl, Nitrous for the win for sure.
Yeah, dude. And then Richard said he can't wait to kick it next year. He's bringing a LS Swap 240. Should be a ton of fun. Yeah, low 10-second car is what he's planning with it. And then Real World Garage here says I had my son when he was about this age installing a water pump on my old work truck. He's 24 now and building his own car, a 68 Rambler American with an FE Ford and a stick shift.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it.
That's a cool car for sure.
It's fun to get everybody involved, man. It's just, it's a great hobby. It's a great sport. It's expensive. It keeps you out of trouble. There's no time to do anything else.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no time or money to do any bad stuff.
That's right.
One of my coworkers, Jerry Roberts, says my dad used to have a station wagon like that one.
I'm sure there's a lot of them out there, right?
Yeah,
just not a lot of good ones anymore.
That's exactly right.
This guy, right? Where'd he come from? Gee whiz.
Well, hey, before we get into it, there's a ton of folks that are watching. Guys, share the live feed. Hit the thumbs up.
Yeah, share it up.
Share the live feed. There's going to be a ton of cool stories that come from this. We're already like almost 10 minutes in, and we hadn't even talked about anything yet. All right, let's get to it. Here we go. All right, so let's talk drag and drive. So the comment I have here literally typed out is drag and drive, hot rodders, have traveled all over the country to race and drive an awesome stick shift wagon as a family. I think that's probably the coolest part, and definitely, gains you guys some notoriety for sure on that side, is because of the family aspect you guys bring to it. Tell us a little bit, how long has Blayne been into this stuff? How long have you been dragging him to things?
Well, my mom, when I was in my mom's stomach, she was, as she walks in the door. Anyways, she was at the Top Fuel NHRA event, and she's standing on the starting line because my grandfather from Kansas, he used to be a safety safari crew member.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long he was, but a long time.
10 plus years, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
10 years or so.
Yeah.
And so my mom was, she got to help out with NHRA and stuff, and so she ran the staging lanes.
Oh.
But she was on the starting line when Top Fuel cars launched, and
that's
where it started.
So that's where it started. This, I got to show this because she sent this to me earlier. Tell us about this picture right here.
What do you want to know? That's two kids in love right there.
I was going to say, that's what that looks like, is two kids in love.
Yeah.
That is too cool.
Yeah, that was fun. That's her dad's football jersey that she has on.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So you guys have been race car folks forever.
So my wife and I, Alita, and I met at the racetrack at Heartland Park, Topeka, at a Mopar event with one of my buddies. And she was running the front of the staging lanes, and I offered her to come to one of the car shows or something that was going on with this particular event. And she actually showed up. And I guess the rest is history.
Yeah. So
there we are. I bought her a wagon and built it for her to haul kids around in, and
then she never drove it.
And
so here it is.
We took it back, I guess. She thinks we stole it back.
That's awesome. Aaron Roberts says shaken future racer syndrome.
Yeah, for sure.
Talking about the starting line stuff.
That's awesome.
Daniel Green did ask what has been done to the car since 2.0. We will go over a little bit of that. It's good stuff. I'll tell you. Blayne was telling me about it before we got started. It's good stuff. I promise. All right. So that kind of gives us a little bit of that background. Hang on. So my question here is, like, Blayne, when did the car bug hit you? Obviously at the starting line of an NHRA event, in your mom's stomach.
I got another story. And so my dad and a few of his buddies, they were racing Outlaw 10.5, which is a competitive small tire class, as most of you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a orange Mustang as a boss. What do we got here? It's a nitrous powered big block on 10.5s. And so
this is a nitrous sunny Hemi, like 760 inches maybe.
Something like that.
Rob's on there, he would know. But
I remember Dad was we were all going to Vegas for streetcar super nationals. So Dad came over, or Dad told me to get in the car and we were going to go to Vegas. And so I remember we went in the car, and then we got to where we were going to meet up, and got in the toter, and I fell asleep. And then I woke up the next morning, and we were in the mountains in, like, Nevada somewhere. Of course, at the time, I didn't know where Nevada was, but I'm like 3 years old. And then when we get there, my dad sent me up to the tower or whatever. I don't remember the whole story on that, but apparently I went in the tower, and I was watching all the cars go down while I was eating Cheetos and stuff. But I wasn't like just running around crazy. I was like watching all the cars go down.
Well, it takes, as everybody knows, it takes more than one or two guys to run one of those cars. So there's 3 or 4 of us that went that year, and
my job was always to chalk the wheelie bars.
he was chalking wheelie bars. Yeah,
I remember that.
he would go when we'd go make a run. I'd run him up to the tower, and those guys would keep an eye on him because I didn't want him to leave him on the 4-wheeler or something, and have a problem.
Yep.
And
turn around.
Pick him up, and and he's buddies with all the tower guys, you know, like, does he have to go already? I'm like, well, yeah, he's my kid. He's got to come back. Come on, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's fun.
That's
totally
awesome.
fun.
Yep. So that you were born in it, bud. You had no chance.
He had no chance. That's right.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, so let's talk about that then. So Tom, have you always been a car guy then? Like, were you car guy growing up?
I was. So I grew up much the similar way. Just my dad was a gas racer and a super stock fan, and they raced a little bit of, I mean, him and a couple partners had a fuel car for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 weeks is all, you know, but so he's been around that his whole life. And gosh, he still has his third car, which is a 48 Ford sedan with a Chrysler Hemi in it.
Oh, dude, that's cool. So,
and then he bought a 64 Dodge in 1965 when he came back from the military, and he still has that car as well. So
awesome.
I've really never had a chance either. So
who's this? Who's this right here?
That's my pop right there. That's my dad, and that's me standing there in his 34 4-door.
That's awesome.
That's
and
fun,
originally, I thought that had been a flathead, but is that a Hemi car? No,
that's a flathead. Yeah, that's a flathead. Yep.
That's
so we put that engine in that car in the backyard of his house. It was fun. Yep.
Man, the crazy time. So I hope that, like, growing up, I didn't. So we had boats, or my dad would always have something kind of neat, but it was always his daily. You know, we never tore into anything or really had many project cars, but he always had some kind of, I don't know, boat he was painting or something that we'd mess with for a summer and then he'd sell and all that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping that my kids, with me having the old truck and the cart growing up, they'll be like, okay, we always need something cool hanging around.
Yep. Yeah, I hope so too. And I think they'll remember that, because this punk here, he pays attention more than I think sometimes, you know.
Yep.
And it shows clearly, right? So he knows what's up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So obviously we know you two guys are car guys, but there's, you know, other folks in the family too. So everybody, Alita's, she's been around cars a bunch, but you've got a daughter too. Tell a little bit about
Michaela is my daughter. She's 15, and she is building a 93 Fox body right now, which is fun.
Yes.
Supercharged. It's got Vortec S trim on it with a 331. And of course, it's a stick car. Why wouldn't it be, right?
Keep quiet in it right now.
Yeah.
It's not that.
That's cool.
Yep. So she's working on that. Both these guys have junior dragsters, of course. That was just kind of easy for us to do that, because that's what I do, right? I know how to do that stuff. But so they have juniors in it, and out of both of them, would you agree Mac's a better driver?
Yeah.
Like, she can drive a race car.
That's cool.
She can make decisions. She can tell you what the car's doing, and it's so much fun. Junior racing is the best thing we've ever done.
That's cool. I've always wondered that, and my little brother has been talking about maybe campaigning a junior dragster for his daughters, and then I think I could slip mine in there and let them.
You need to do that. I'm telling you, we played every stick and ball sport there is, and we've kind of narrowed it down to what we want to do. And junior racing has been the most fun we've ever had as a team. But I'll tell you, there's so much more lesson in learning lessons in racing like that, because you don't just drive the car. Like, I make these guys load the car, unload the car, change oil and prep tires. And I mean, everything about it. Like, if you want to race this thing, you got to do the work.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there that, I mean, you'll see them kick back, and then the kids just go off and run around and do their thing. And then the guys are putting fuel in it, dumping the catch can. And it's like, I mean, you putting your kid in the car, but they don't even understand like what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the deal. Kids aren't hired drivers. Now, Tom, I'd hire him to drive a stick car if I had one, if I wanted to make a pass.
I don't know about
like
he can break stuff fast.
Yes,
Hey,
that's
Richard Guido. He's the guy you need to hire. Those guys are men out there shifting them cars, man.
yeah.
I'm still on training wheels here.
Oh, that's funny. He said a while ago he was making some comments. Can't wait to bang gears with you dudes in Florida. We're gonna have a ton of fun for Sick Week. We're gonna talk about that too because I'm excited. And then obviously stick cars for the win. He's been posting that he's hoping the snow isn't too bad in Canada. And
man.
I wonder what that dude's gonna be in tank tops if it's 50 degrees outside.
Stick cars for the win. Richard Guido. Rich is the man, dude.
Yep.
To drive that car from Canada and then go beat on it and go bottom nines, high eights in the thing and drive the thing home is like that is amazing. You guys kick ass. You know, him and Bill both. Those guys are both badass dudes, you know. To race in the same class as them is awesome. So
I got my mud flaps yesterday.
I'm so excited to do that. Like racing in February is a new thing to us. You know, we don't usually we're like in teardown mode right now and getting a game plan for next season, but I'm finding myself kind of in hustle mode right now. So
it hadn't stopped. I mean, like you think like you've got 1.0 and then you've got, 2 or 3 months later, you got 2.0 and now, 4 months later, we're going to have Sick Week. And then like, it's just a cycle. Like everybody's just going to keep having their cars ready.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Yep. Kenneth saying they're the Stark family are rock stars, and for sure you are. All right. So
Ken, and we got to talk about Ken for a second. I'm glad you're on here, Ken. Ken is a guy that we met at work there, and he's actually our Seal Master sponsor, and he's helping these guys with their juniors and helping us keep that program together and make it better than what we had. So really shout out to him. He's a cool dude. So Seal Master in Denver is where it's at.
That's awesome. So now is he is that like a standalone brick and mortar shop? Is he a online business?
So he supplies the Seal Master chemical, that's seal coating parking lots and stuff. I'm not an asphalt guy. I just know a little bit of what's going on. But his shop is not far away from my work. So we get to see each other quite often. And quite frankly, we've got to become pretty good friends. So that's cool. It's even better. The friendship thing, this means more to me than any financial thing ever, but
and like, that's what I think I want people to understand the most. Sorry, we're getting a little bit of feedback there. The Race Week family, it's like a family. Like you're rolling with cousins and aunts and uncles all week.
That's fact. There's lots of eyes. There's lots of eyes on on Race Week, So pretty hard to get in trouble. Everybody knows him now, right?
That's exactly right. So you talked about kind of where you worked and things like that. You guys are in Colorado, right?
We are.
Have you guys always lived there? Did you grow up in that area? What all that kind of stuff?
So I grew up in Aurora, Colorado, which is just east of Denver, the big city of Denver. And then Alita grew up in Topeka, Kansas area. And so we've always lived north of Denver now since we were married.
That's cool. So not only did you invite her to a car event and she came, then you're like, hey, let's move back to where I live.
We dated long distance for 2 years. And then she had a cousin that lived out here. And so she moved out here to stay with a cousin and we made it work. And finally it was another friend of mine was like, what are you waiting for, man? You marry that chick. So
you're like, okay, fine. She was like, yes, let's go. That's great.
Pretty fun. Yeah. So we have a class together for sure.
How long have y'all been married?
18 years.
Dang, that's awesome. That's awesome. That is too cool. So do you want to talk about day job stuff? You kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, kind of industry, what you work in all day and then work on at home.
So, yeah, I mean, so I have a hot rod shop and we've been fairly successful.
Nice.
14 years. Yeah. 14 years been doing it on my own. I've worked for a couple of high-end places before I started my place, but it was basically, it's just a little kid's dream that we made happen.
Yeah.
Well, dude, when you're a kid, you see all these cars and you just think, wow, I want to build those for people, and we did it. It's part of the mentality that I had.
That is too cool. So I'll tell you, my brother, Narcoleptic Customs has always kind of been a tax write-off. And then the shop he was working for closed. And so we're going heavy. He's full-time, and we're trying to figure out the process of like how you work, get parts, do your running, all that kind of stuff. So I would love to have you back on later. We're not going to talk about this time, but for the business of burnouts, because I think that would be just to be able to pick your brain a little bit and kind of let you teach some of us newbies,
Sure.
So, Dad, before I started in school, I'd go to work all the time with him because I had no choice. Mom had to go to work, and then he had to go to work too. So me and my sister were always just kind of like along for the ride.
That's awesome.
And then when we started going to school, I was in preschool. I always remembered Dad would drop me off at school in the morning or whatever. I don't know. He split in half. The days were split in half back then. And then he would always take me or pick me up, and then we'd go back to work, and we'd hang out, and then we'd go home, and then I'd go to bed and wake up and do the same thing every day.
That's awesome. So Rich asked, name of the said hot rod shop, because I was gonna, dude, you gotta put it out there. You gotta people gotta follow you on Instagram and Facebook.
It's good. I mean, that's not why we're doing this, man, but it's called Precision Designs. And yes, we won the Riddler in 2018, the silver 57 Chevy. Cool. If anybody knows that, there was 3 of us that teamed up to get that car finished. There's a lot of hands in that car to get it to where it's at, and we were lucky enough to be a part of that.
Yeah. So you're not just a hot rod shop. Like that's super cool stuff. We turned some wrenches, we put motors and stuff. No. So we just gloss over. How long did that car take to build?
I had parts of that car in my shop for 5+ years, and nobody knew it.
See, that's wild.
The car was at my place for 8 months, 10 months, maybe. But you see, there never was just one person working on the car or one shop. We've all of us had parts of it the whole time. And what I say by that is, like I had the engine and transmission at the shop, and I was building, intake manifold or throttle linkage or, covers. Like there's a starter cover and an oil pan cover. And, the car is it's fun to look at until you really get to look at it. Like I can show you around the car, like lay under it and show you how we made all this stuff work. It's really a work of art.
That's amazing. And, even to be considered in the Riddler, for folks that don't know, that's a huge accomplishment. Just to do that. I mean, that's a big deal.
It is. It's a big deal. It's a big deal to try to get one done, let me tell you.
Right. I want to say Alita coming in here, she said that you were banging gears in Tulsa, so you missed that anniversary this year. It's been 19 years.
Yeah, I knew she would say that.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, Rich, we're going to say that he was replying to Alita saying that that you miscounted by saying that's awesome. And then, obviously, we got to thank Stuff with Cletus Automotive. Do drop some $5 in here. He is actually about 3 hours from me. Great channel, on the rise, big time. Him and some buddies are LS swapping a Volvo wagon, dirty bastards. I'm like, I'll build a Volvo wagon at some point. But they're doing it in like the span of like a week. So there's like 5 YouTube channels that are gathering up.
Cool.
Motors coming from somebody, cars coming from Cletus, all this kind of stuff. So they're gathering, they're putting the motor in, and he's going to bring it home. And being 3 hours from me and being an LS Volvo, I'm going to have to get down there and see that thing. So
that sounds like fun.
Yep. Thanks to him. All the money that is donated or given tonight is going for the Sick Week Fund in February. So please bring it on. I'll drink beer and thank everybody for dropping money in there. So
awesome. That's
all right.
Awesome.
Let's get back to it. Yeah. I'm really pumped about Sick Week. I'm excited to not be piloting something. So it's going to be cool to like be able to hang out and ride with folks and all that kind of stuff. So now that we know you work hard, probably 70 or 80 hours a week, we know what your day looks like.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Blayne, give us a rundown of what your day looks like.
Well, you wake up in the morning, you take a shower or whatever, you get ready for school, go into school, get home, do some homework, come out in the garage, work on the cars, or chill and watch TV, which usually doesn't happen. It's usually
watch TV.
Yeah, it's usually watch TV and work on the car.
No, you don't
Or
watch
listen.
TV. You watch his Motor Trend.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not TV. The TV is on. It's just car shows.
Yeah.
You got to support car content for sure. Even if it's bad, you still have to support it. We need more car content. Jonathan Stonecipher popping in here saying, "Hey guys."
Yeah. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yep. Another big race weeker. He's the reason I'm involved in any of this stuff.
Cool.
So we'll blame all of this on him. So let's go back a little bit, Tom. Let's talk about what you learned to drive in, and kind of what your first car was.
So I learned to drive in a 64 Dodge. I took my driver's test in a 64 Dodge, the same car, which it had a push button shifter on the side. And the instructor thought I was crazy when I was shifting over here, trying to drive this car, but which is the car my dad bought in 65. And then my first car was a 77 Plymouth Valari.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but it looks like a Nova. But I was a big Mopar guy. My dad's a big Chrysler Hemi guy. And I say as a Mopar guy, I like everything, honestly. But so it was lowered and had a roll bar in it and tweed interior, and we painted it and had a 9-inch in it and a hopped up 360, and that's what I drove every day. And like
awesome.
Blayne said, I still have that car. So.
Oh, that's cool, because we're going to talk about other project cars here in a minute, because I think I can only imagine the cool stuff you guys have laying back, because I think everybody knows you because of the wagon, but what do they not know you? You know what I mean?
We got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Daniel Green says, Blayne, do your friends at school know how popular you are in motorsports?
Nope. They're all like, so I wear my merchandise to school, and they're like, "Is that you?" I'm like, yeah.
You mean like this right here? That actually I put on by accident this morning.
Oh, dang.
Check you out, brother.
Yeah,
right
man.
On.
Hey, I want to thank Alita for that. I had to bother her, and then she had to bother me to pay her. It was this whole thing.
I appreciate the support, man. All that money is for his project car. So
Which we'll get.
which we'll get into later. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. So how long did you? Well, you drove that car for a while, and then
So I drove that car for 3 years straight. That's the only car I had. And then I built a 68 GMC pickup, which was frame off, stroker 383. It had every transmission. It had a turbo 350 in it. Then it had a 700 R4 in it. And then I found these things called stick shifts. And it had a stick shift and a 12 volt, and it was silver and white. And we won a bunch of stuff with that car show wise. And then I sold that and built a 56, which I don't know if she sent you any pictures of that, but I had a street race 56 Chevy.
He broke the transmissions every weekend.
Yeah, that was.
and what's funny is how much power did you make then?
Oh, it was a big block Chevy on, a hydraulic. Yeah, it was a solid bore actually. So it probably made 700 maybe.
That's awesome.
But it rattled the windows. It was big compression. You had to run the valves all the time. I mean, it was nothing. It was on a small tire. It was just I can tell you how I broke it all the time. I just didn't know. But it got unreliable. But
that's crazy.
It actually, I sold that car to fund my business, and this is the next car we built after that.
That's awesome. So I want to talk a little bit in depth about the wagon in a minute, but Rich is asking, which is actually my next question, is what's going to be Blayne's first car?
So I have a 1956 Chevy 2-door post car.
Yes.
So it'll be a stick shift. I'm pretty sure it's going to be an LT turbo car. And,
yes.
Small tire.
I know
Doug's
I like
the LT fishing line in the water, and I think he's hooked up on it. So,
well, I mean, I think Doug's proven that the LT setup is definitely very, very good for making power and enjoys boost. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
we've been
it's
wanting
funny.
to dabble in that LT world a little bit.
We
and
considered putting one in this car after we broke the motor that was in it.
Yeah.
Considered putting one
And
in it.
now we're all stock bottom end guys here, and
sure.
the LT stuff you can almost buy it as inexpensive as the LS stuff anymore.
Boy, I was talking with Doug about that. Like, hey, what is this LT game? You got to tell me more about this. And those of you that don't know Doug Cook at Motion Raceworks, like, he's as legit as they come.
Yeah.
And he was like, Tom, it's the best engine I've ever built.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, I mean, that's pretty cool, So
Yep.
I got some LT stuff going at work, but that's just crate motor stuff, nothing crazy there. But
Yeah, nothing like what you're going to do with it.
Yeah. So it's good.
Yep. And then so Royce asked, how's his car coming along? I would think that's back when we were talking about Blayne's car. So parts gathering stage, where are you at with this stage right now?
It's sitting in the barn outside waiting to be washed, and that's about as far as we've gotten so far.
That's cool.
And I mean, Dad has a few leftover parts, but
well,
we're plotting and scheming on that, which way to go. I'm not sure. And Royce and I have talked about this quite a bit. Royce is just an hour north of us, so we get together quite often. But do we build a 16-year-old kid an 8-second car right out of the gate?
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer to that is, because he's not the normal 16-year-old kid.
Right.
So we're still in trying to figure that out. But
yeah, I tore up a ton of stuff at 300 horsepower at 16 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, the old truck used to be a 283 3-speed, and I went through at least 2 of those before we put an automatic in it, and then the automatic was trashed not long after that. So yeah, just turn him loose. It's all throttle control. It's like motorcycle stuff.
I think so. Yeah, it is. That's where we're heading, right? So.
That's right. And he's got a pretty good understanding of like how cars work and speed and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Streetcar Chronicles, who was at 2.0, says by far me and my boys' favorite team in the game. Talking about you guys for sure.
Thanks, brother.
And then it looks like Wood and Metal Garage talking about leaving the 350 in the 78 El Camino that Cletus's 15-year-old son is building.
Cool.
Let's see here.
Cool.
So we'll run through some comments real quick.
No, it's good.
Yeah, Richard Weiss says, was awesome meeting you guys on first day of 2.0. My wife and I brought our son. He is 2 and was the one that was super excited to see your car.
Oh, awesome. I remember him. He locked up. You remember that?
Yeah.
He was fun, man. It was the best ever.
Yeah, that was fun.
They rolled up in the, if it's the same people I'm thinking of, they rolled up in the
tech. We were going to tech, or we were going to the lanes, and
he got all excited and shaking his arms and everything. It was great, man.
That is too
committed for sure. That makes me proud.
Right. Anytime you turn some little kid loose, that's where it's at.
Oh man, it's great. It's on the road with some the kids that are stopping and like paying attention. I didn't realize that we had done that to people. We're just out doing what we do, and for people to recognize that, I guess is something I never thought about. We're just doing what we do. So it's really cool to see little kids excited like that.
Well, and what's cool about Race Week stuff, especially because I haven't spent any time with you guys other than that, but everybody we're all enjoying ourselves. We're all having a good time, and we're doing what we really enjoy, which is driving cool hot rods around, even if we have to wrench on them on the side of the road somewhere.
That's craziness, right? This is supposed to be vacation. Tom Bailey put on there, it'll be the hardest vacation you've ever take.
Yeah, that's 100%.
And that is that. I mean, it's brought on ourselves because we're not driving a 15-second car. that you should
ouch
work on a whole lot.
Ouch.
You have to work on it.
Hey, we put it like the 14.
Are you putting pistons in it? Did you put pistons in a motor in June?
Yeah, that's.
Don't worry, sprayed the house down and to pay for it.
What I think I want to do is have a complete LS swap ready on the trailer, and then we're just going to put some rods to the moon in the cart sometime next year, and then we're just going to LS swap it in the parking lot somewhere and just go. Just it'll be broke 1
That'd be
minute,
awesome.
LS swapped, ready to go next, and be on our way.
Totally
Yeah.
do it.
Yep. Yeah.
You
It's
hang around
easy.
with brother long enough here, he'll have you spraying the daylights out of it.
Well, hey, that's a funny story. I blame him, one, for the 14-2 pass, which was awesome,
Yep.
fastest we'd ever been, and then two, for me breaking it.
Good job, brother.
So he's like, you got to go straight.
I
We
don't
had
know.
like, dude, we had like a 35 shot in. He's like, you got to go straight to 100. I was like, okay. So I bought what would be like a 70 dry jet, and then the 100 jet when we were in.
You made him
Summit.
buy jets, bro?
I didn't know.
We probably
I
had
told
jets.
him I had
Oh.
jets.
No, he did. I'll say that, but I wasn't going to borrow anything from anybody because I was like, man, I'm going to need it when I get back home, thinking that it would have made it home. But yeah, 100 out of the hole, probably before my foot was off the brake. And then I know I sprayed it through at least one shift or two, maybe.
That's awesome.
I guess
Yeah.
you'll have that. I mean, when your tranny goes out, I mean, that
Yeah.
explains it.
Yeah. So I think that's what's going to be fun. We're going to attempt a rebuild on that and see if we can keep breaking
Fun.
stuff for sure. So, automatic stuff, it's harder to tear stuff up that way.
I'm
So-
not sure what you're talking about on that. That's for
It's
driving
all
working back.
it's all magic wizardry in there.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's
That's
great.
awesome.
All right. John Hooper saying, nice to meet you guys here. Best crew chief ever. That's for sure.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Let's
Nice to
keep
meet you
rolling.
guys too.
It's what I love about the live feeds is there's a lot of time like where, I mean, you guys are busy, and you're busy at stops, you're busy at going along, but like there's always 5 or 10 minutes you can take and talk to folks, but like we'll have an hour. Well, we're at 41 minutes now and we still haven't really talked about anything. And so like people get a really good sense of like, being able to hang out with you guys and they'll have
Yeah.
stuff to talk about when you meet the next time. So let's
That's
take
fun.
just a second and you guys have got to talk about your sponsors because I mean that's how you get to race so much. That's how you have that next level of parts and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to give some sponsor call outs, we'll let you do that for sure.
We have quite a few that help us a lot, and really, there's not much. Nobody helps us financially with any of this. This is all out of Alita and I's pocket, and we work hard to buy all this stuff. And I try to buy the right stuff once, which doesn't always work, but it gets you a head start. But Doug at Motion. Those guys are top notch. Doug and Andy. Those guys are fun to be around. They're fun to help. They man, whatever you guys need, especially when we tore this thing up in June, they were right there. Doug was over first saying like, whatever you guys need, just come get it. We'll figure it out. And so of course, Motion Raceworks and everybody that's a drag and drive guy knows that they are one of the top sponsors of any of these events.
Yeah.
And they're out there doing it, which is even cooler.
They're not just providing parts; they're testing their parts and then providing their parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're definitely trying to break stuff to make sure that it's good enough for all of us folks in the world.
Another guy that helps us a lot, P Performance, which is Scott Patton. And so when I'm on the phone at Race Week, I'm usually talking to Scott because we bounce tune-up ideas off each other. He's sometimes pushing buttons while we're busy. If we tore something up or making a clutch change or something, Scott will set up a next pass. But he is really he's the guy behind you that's watching, making sure you're not doing anything crazy, and tells you to either calm down or go get it. The next guy, so Rob Brewster, which he's on here, he has the black and white 56.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kind of went kaboom with our race week.
Yeah,
Experience.
that's the bastard that's at fault here, really. He's the one. But he accelerated this. Like, you need to get off your ass and get that wagon done. Let's go. And he's really the guy, if you pay attention, and Blayne's on the starting line by himself, he's never on the starting line by himself. Rob is usually there. He's
That's
just
cool.
letting him do his thing, but if there's an issue, like, he's there to pull him out of the way or whatever. And that guy right there, we've grown up together. Which I have a lot of those. I have probably 5 or 6 of those guys.
That's
that
cool.
we've all grew up together. But so Rob's a big part of our sponsor. Mark Williams is a big thing. Travis helps us a lot there. Kale at Black Magic Clutches. These stick guys, Rich and Bill, know who Kale is, but he's good to get us in the right direction in the clutch, and he's a big part of why we don't tear a bunch of stuff up. In our JR world, our junior drag racing world, Mario at One Up Performance helps Blayne a lot. In fact, they talk on the phone probably more than I do, and gets his setups going. So we run some bracket classes, some index bracket classes. We also run some like heads up, top quick 16 junior stuff as well. So that's pretty fun.
Cool.
So Blayne basically tunes both the juniors, and I just make sure the belts are on and the seat belts are on when they start up. And of course, Seal Master Ken really does a big thing at Seal Master and helps us a lot there. Buy some parts and get us the right stuff and tickets and sponsors a lot of entry fees and that kind of stuff. So
that's awesome. Jay says Rob is the hero you never knew you needed.
That is a fact. Rob is the guy in the room that's there, and he's standing over in the corner, and he doesn't have anything to drink in his hand. He's just monitoring the place, and he's probably the baddest dude in the whole property.
That's cool. You just keep an eye on stuff. Keep an eye. Make sure you don't have to get in
things and come get you like it's time to go. We got to go. What? Yeah. What are you talking about? No, we got to go. Okay.
That's cool. So,
if
go
we
ahead.
Go back and talk about Brew some more, Rob, we consider him as Brew. But I remember we were coming back and Dad needed something for the Roadster show, which is the Grand National Roadster show. It's in California, one of the biggest car show events.
Yeah.
Which is what started Race Week. We were talking
for
about
us.
Well, for us. Like Dad genuinely needed a car so bad to take to his booth, and we were coming back from Brews, and we were talking about, we have a 34 Ford, which is actually my grandpa's, with my dad's dad, and
that's cool.
That has a fuel injected Hemi. It doesn't run yet, but they were considering doing that, or we're gonna do this car and take it, and it ended up being this car. This car went to the show, and Dad was, if we can have him talk a little bit about that, but he was legitimately concerned about taking a patina car to a high-end, high-dollar car show.
So what he's talking about is I have a booth in Building 4, which is the main building of the Roadster show, and it's right up where the America's Most Beautiful Roadsters are all on display. And I'm bringing a patinaed 55 Chevy station wagon. Like, what is wrong with you, dude? This is not smart. And I drove to Pomona from Denver by myself, which is about 1,000 miles. And the whole way, most of the way, I'm thinking, like, this is not the best idea you've ever had. And I get there, and actually on the way there, I'm like, if you show up with that attitude, it's going to show. So you need to roll in with your chest pumped up and be proud of what you brought, and it is what it is. You can't change it now.
Right.
I get there, and if anybody knows George Poteet,
450 or 70 or something mile an hour.
Oh, yes. George Poteet's a big Bonneville racer now, but he's one of the first guys that seen the car and told me that there's cars you want to look at and there's cars you want to drive, and this is a car I want to drive.
Yes.
From then on, that's all that mattered to me. Like, if George thinks it's good, I'm just fine.
Yeah.
And it turns out the patina thing has been a big hit, really catching traction here recently, and we're just happen to be along for the ride on that deal.
So let me ask you this then. Do you clear patina or do you let it keep patinaing?
Patina is not cleared. Patina is taken a long time to get that way.
So this car looks, in person, it looks very, very, very cloudy because of, we used Dawn dish soap to get all the grease off the car from race week. And so it looks really cloudy, but usually, like, just from normal, like, road grime and, like, greases and stuff, the car looks, like, not shiny, like you cleared it shiny, but, like, it looks like it's got a little grease in it, I guess.
That's awesome. Do you guys know the Sweet Patina guys?
Yeah.
They've got
Yeah,
a
we met-
57. Yeah.
Yeah, we met him somewhere along the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a great dude. Super cool stuff too. And so we've been debating on using whatever, I can't remember the sauce, patina sauce on my truck, just because. So my philosophy is don't clear the patina, because I want the rundown of rust that you get from not washing it, like that trail of rust that comes down the car, you lose all that stuff, and that changes, as you drive it, as you move through, all the different weathers, because my truck sits outside all the time, so it's
sits outside too when we're not working on it, but it's generally, if we just keep it clean and it doesn't get used as a regular car anymore, so it's not a huge thing that everybody thinks you got to protect it. Well, you really just keep it clean. You don't really have to protect it.
Yep.
But if you clear it, it gets too shiny, and it just doesn't look right. So,
well, and again, it's never going to get more patina if you clear it.
That's right.
That's
right.
awesome.
Boris at Street Machinery in Ohio is really good at recreating patina.
Yeah.
So him and I have talked about it actually a lot.
That's cool. So I want to talk about daily driver, and then when Blayne gets back, let's get into some of the junior dragster stuff and kind of like how long y'all been doing that. So what do you daily drive? Because him and I were on, and he was like, "Oh, there's Dad," and it was like I could hear you pull up, but I couldn't tell what it was.
I have an 87 C10 square body that's lowered, and it's blue. I don't even like blue, but everything seems that I own is blue.
Everything you got's blue.
It's got cool. 20s and 22s on it. A dear friend of mine thought I needed that, and he rounded it up for me, and I didn't even know it.
Oh, that's cool. So, what powertrain's in that truck?
It's stone stock. It is fuel injected from 87. It has a 350 in it with a turbo 350 that works good. It doesn't run fast. It just drives around.
Yep.
But the AC works really good, and the heater works really good. In fact, it's nicknamed the sweatshirt in the winter. So I brought my sweatshirt with me, and in the winter, it's the ice box. I brought my ice box with me. Or in the summer, it's the ice box.
Nice. That is too cool. So, Blayne, you want to walk us through some junior dragster stuff? Tell us like times, how long you raced, kind of. I'd love to hear like a setup on those cars.
So I'll start with the setup. So my car currently right now is a 2010 Hercules chassis from JR Race Car. It has a JR Race Car Titan engine designed to go 8th mile. It makes like 41 horsepower. And then and then it's got like so we run two different classes. You have the 790 index, or not index, but 790. Get as close to 790 or go as slow as 790. It's for 13 to 17.
Oh,
that's
cool.
The fastest class you got. So that's what I'm running in right now. So it's got a gear ratio of 750, maybe somewhere in there. For when we're in 790, and then like 820 when we're in 330. So it's got a stout gear ratio. So they're belt driven off the crank, and that goes into a rear clutch. So it's two clutches. You got your rear driven and then your standard. So then you have a belt that connects those two together, and then that goes into another shaft, which goes to two sprockets, and then it's a chain. It's like a go-kart, I guess you could say.
That makes sense. So is it a centrifugal clutch then set up?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So and then so as I talked about, we have how many motors do we have? We have 4, 5. We probably have like 6 motors. 2 of them are for a slower class, which we used to run in, and then we got 4. Or then we have 2 that run in the 790 index class, and then we have 2 double duty motors, or not double duty, like these are some good motors they're very, very picky on temperature, fuel temperature, idle. It's crazy, like all the stuff that's going into it. But one of the bigger motors makes that it's getting rebuilt right now. How much does that make?
Which one? We have names
They all
for
have
engines.
names.
Yes.
Chuck.
Okay, Chuck made almost 50 horsepower.
And then this other one, it's laying back on the floor. Go get it. It's only 4.5-inch bore. The rest of our motors are 4 3/4. Right? Yeah, 4 3/4.
4.5.
No.
Or 3.5. 3.5. 3.5 and 3 3/4.
Oh yeah, not 4. 3.
That's
Sorry.
this motor.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyways,
Yeah, so you need to punch out the small ones. You just use Dad's pistons.
yeah.
I don't think it works like that, but
I have a piston I could go get from my room, but out of the little motors. But that one made like 42.5, and it's a smaller bore diameter, and it was like insane.
I can only imagine. So like those are ragged edge. Like you're getting all the power out of that thing. So like you're talking about air density and all the barometric changes could really
They're all
change that
single
car.
cylinder too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They're making 40 horsepower, 50 horsepower on a single cylinder engine.
Yeah, that's great. So Ron's asking, talk about Mac's car your dad built.
Oh. I guess he's going to get parts or something, but
Nice.
so yeah, we built one from scratch. Ron is Lita's dad.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So we took and put a junior up on the table, and then we decided what we would like to change. So we moved engine location. It's behind the rear axle. We moved driver location where it's back 18 inches from a standard car. It's kind of crazy. It's carbon fiber, and we have lots of carbon. Look at this guy. He's bringing an engine.
Monster. Lee, dude, you listen now. Don't hurt your back. That thing is crazy.
So
go lead him.
that's my dog. But anyways, let's see if I can get that staged there.
Wow. That thing looks wild.
So yeah, here's the clutch that I was talking about.
If my daughters are watching, you're not getting anything like that if we junior drag race.
Oh, you never know. Come on now.
Yep.
But so this is the front clutch, the standard, and then the belt goes in here, and then it drives to the back clutch. It goes back here, and that's rear German. So there's different styles of clutches too. Like it's crazy. We have a few.
Anytime somebody's going to drag race, they're like, you're going to get the absolute. Like everybody's going to change all the little stuff they can do to get the most performance.
You know what you got to understand? You say you're not going to ever get any of this. We didn't just buy all this yesterday. It
I know.
It took years to do this, and as classes change and you grow, you sell a couple things and you get that, and you sell a couple things and you get that, which is why we built a car. Like I had one all spec'd out at my boss, and those guys built amazing pieces, and it was like $8,000 for a chassis, and I mean it was a turnkey thing, but. Why don't we build one? Let's build one, and so we built a quick 16 car, and cool. It's pretty wild. There's lots of things we probably shouldn't talk about on here because some people might freak out.
Let's not give secret info. I do want to go to the comments real quick. The car guys, Coastal Auto Reaction guys are in here saying good to see the younger generation talking cars. I hope they've been around for a little bit. Those dudes. Y'all, Blayne is crazy. Y'all have to go watch his channel. All kinds of cool stuff. While he's out right now, I do want to say, I think once he gets, and we're seeing it now. We've been 2.5 years really on YouTube hard, but I think him 8 or 10 years from now, looking back at this stuff, you guys will love that you guys are documenting what you're doing.
Well, I agree with that. So it is totally documenting it, like all this stuff on YouTube that. Fred at 1320 and Kyle, of course, and just everybody. Tom Bailey doing this article in the new Sick the Mag. That the article's not about a car feature. It's about us racing.
Yep.
And that makes it cooler. Yeah. You know, like everything that I've done in a car, I've never had a featured cover car.
Wow.
And we got to share it. You know, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's what we got here. So obviously I was talking about the 4 3/4 inch bore. So this came out of the
3 3/4 though.
I keep talking about that. Sorry. 3 3/4 inch bore. So this is a piston. Obviously not your normal piston.
No.
But it's not your normal piston. So it's like your engine out of a car.
Right.
But scaled to size. It's all billet. Like they make some nice pieces, and then the rod is all billet. It's some nice stuff. And then this is out of the old 6-liter. Before we went kablooey with that.
Before you bend a couple of those.
We didn't bend any of those, but we did get close to putting a hole in a piston.
Yes. That's always good. So for the folks that are in the that are watching, I just dropped a link to Blayne's channel.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks.
You guys have to go over. I'm telling you, what's going to be really cool is to see the growth that, because like you're not even in the algorithm yet. Like you can't, like nobody even knows who Blayne is yet on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like as far as like.
Sure.
The reach you're going to have over the next 2 or 3 years is going to be so cool.
You know, Fred put that on early on to me last year. He rode with us for 3 or 4 hours. Well, rode with me. Well, he was in the van doing his homework.
Oh, nice.
Which is pretty fun. You know, we were doing schoolwork while we are going down the road. And then by the time we got to the racetrack, he was done with school and, well, it was time to go to work, right?
Yeah.
And Fred really got in the car and was like, you see what's happening here, right? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yep. And he's like, dude, this is not normal. And we're not doing this to be cool or anything. This is just our way of life.
Yeah.
Like we like doing this a lot. And so he was just like, that's why it's good. Like you guys aren't putting on a show. Like we're not doing that.
Yep.
And, we're just out doing what we do, you know, and I don't know if you've noticed or anything, but if they won't let him on the starting line, I just back out. We don't make the run. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. I haven't seen that yet, but why wouldn't they? I guess
so in Great Bend, and I don't want to be bad or say bad about anybody, but Great Bend, they wouldn't let him up there on our second run at the end of, was that this year or last year? I don't remember.
This year,
and so I was just backing out, and everybody was booing that they wouldn't let him up there. And Joe Barry, which we've known Joe a long time. This is Joe's #1 fan, actually. Joe was like, no, he's going up there. We're going to make this happen.
That's
like he's smarter than a lot of people that are even standing up here, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
and
for sure.
Long story short, we actually made the run, and everybody was good with that, you know?
That's
in fact,
cool.
Ron was there, too, on that deal. Ron was there. It's like, no, he's good. I'll take responsibility. It's fine, you know? And we're not trying to do anything wrong or get anyone in trouble. We're just doing what we do. And I honestly can't reach the nitrous bottle or the stuff to turn on. So someone has to turn that on after we do the burnout. That's just how we've run our program. And so I actually need his help to run the car, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's fun.
So this is a lot worse than I remember, but here's the burnt piston.
Oh, dang. Yeah, that's a little crispy.
She's cooked.
Yeah.
The cylinder head looks just like that, just backwards.
You might have been able to get one more pass off of that.
No.
I don't know how fast it would have been.
Yeah, you'd have got a burnout out of that rig, and then it'd just to the moon, Alice. Patina Pit Stop here saying you guys are the real deal. He's got a super cool son as well, a little younger than Blayne is, and then he's a wagon guy too. So
right on.
Channel.
We need to hook up on that, dude. But I appreciate that. I don't know what real deal means, but
I think it means you guys are super cool, dude. You just scared the crap out of that cat. Oh my gosh, it's gonna get you back now. I can tell already.
That was good.
Oh man. Okay, so I want to ask the folks that are watching this, y'all hit the share button. Let everybody that is in your friends list, like, let them know we're on live. Because I mean, we're like a third of the way through the questions I have here. I hope you guys have a little bit of time.
Oh, we're good.
Hey, we're good, man. We're
didn't-
good.
I didn't
I don't
eat
want to
dinner
waste
before
everyone
this,
else's
so.
time either. So
Whatever. Hey, we don't care about their time. We're having fun. All
that's
right,
cool,
so,
man.
yeah, before we get into like some good stuff here, tell everybody where they can find you. Tom, do you have a Instagram page? And we're gonna let Blayne go first because like his stuff is. I know he posts daily.
So my Instagram is Blayne's Therapy, and you look it up and it's probably the top search because you're not looking for a lot of therapies. A lot of people, I get the question, it's like, why is it Blayne's Therapy? So my junior dragsters always had the name Blayne's Therapy, and that was because it was the red car. I don't know if any of you guys know, but I used to have a red car, and it was purposely built to look like a 60s top fuel drag car with a junior dragster mode, but it couldn't do
Nice.
rear engine, so it was called Blayne's Therapy, kind of a throwback.
Yeah.
Because every car had its name.
Yep.
Race
so
cars have names.
That's where it came from.
Yes,
That's what
yes.
Blayne's Therapy is. And then on YouTube, it's the same thing. So.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the red car is in the living room, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, hang on. Is it decoration or is it like that? It's too cold to work outside on it. We're gonna work on it in here.
No,
it's decoration.
it's retired. We retired it twice because he doesn't fit in it no more. But
the chassis broke in.
Yeah, we put the big motor on it and
And it didn't
actually
like that.
rattled the tires and broke the chassis at a race.
Nice.
So that's fun.
Nice.
I did not like that.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, Patina Pit Stop says he's coming to 2.0. I've been wearing him out about doing one of these events. He says
got to do it.
Yeah, need pictures of our cars together. Y'all definitely do. His car's Patina, obviously, with
That's awesome.
Patina Pit Stop. So that's cool. All right, where are we at here? So we got Instagram and YouTube for Blayne.
Oh, for brother, yeah. So I'm on Instagram at work at Precision Designs. So you can kind of see what I do at work there. And then at home on Facebook, I'm on, I guess I have Facebook for work too, Precision Designs.
Yep.
And then I'm just Tom Stark on Facebook.
Yep.
That's enough to manage, and I don't do very well at managing it. This is my social media guy.
He don't post very much.
Yeah, I think that's what'll be neat too. Like, we were talking about the documentation of like you're growing, as you record, but then too, like he'll be able to, like just seeing the growth in like your Instagram, strategies and how all that stuff will change over time and like how it will become. I mean, it'll really becomes kind of a business. Oh, dude, we got some more money here. CP,
Nice.
the tool addict. Yep, $10.
And then check this out. My daughter's junior dragster was called Mama's. How do you say
Migraine.
that? Migraine.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
That is too cool, man. That is
That's
too
awesome.
cool.
Race cars have names, brother. That's where it's at.
I'm telling you, we name everything we have that comes through the shop. Everything has a name.
Perfect.
Blayne and Tom, what a great example of awesome couple of guys.
Thank you.
You guys are just, y'all are famous, man. It's crazy. Is it hard being this famous?
Honestly, it's no different.
We're just doing what we do, man. I mean, I keep going back to Fred. He was just like, that's what makes this so damn cool is that you guys are just doing what you do,
Yeah.
So
That's your brother, Steven?
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
If you see anybody with the last name Narks, we're related. Like, and if
awesome.
if it's any car stuff, it's probably me or him, anyways.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's
and
awesome.
then dudes with wrenches is names for sure. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I was a little confused about that.
Kind of give us a little bit of insight there into that. All right.
Yeah.
So, Blayne, people that aren't subscribed because they're just watching this and they're just meeting you, what should they expect from your channel?
So, we're not sure if the wagon's going to PRI yet, but possibility. But I will be filming at PRI if they let me, which I'm sure I probably won't have a problem with. Obviously preparing for sick week. I got a probably junior dragster maintenance, more junior stuff. Working on projects around the house and stuff like that. So you'll see a lot more of that.
So a little bit of vlog style stuff, and then y'all wrenching on some stuff and things like that. Dudes with Wrenches was talking about every car gets a name. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
100%. Jeremy Trial said that it's a blast cruising with you guys.
Jeremy's a dude, man. He's a badass dude. Him and his wife both. That was fun. Totally fun.
That's cool. So how many drag and drive events have you guys done?
How many have we done?
We've participated in 5, and we have attended. Let's see.
6.
So
the very first Rocky Mountain Race Week, we were up racing juniors.
The day before.
And so we were actually there at that event. And it was just, I was getting the business going and didn't think I could do it and didn't have a car to do it, but I loved it. I'm an old street racer that we raced every week and did all of that. And fast street cars is where my heart is.
Yep.
And so getting the business going and off the ground and getting kids raised and trying not to miss this is a big thing to me.
Yeah.
And Alita and I both, we just didn't take anybody, like we just took them with us everywhere. We didn't stop doing anything.
Yep.
And so that's been a big part of that.
And
that's
so
cool.
We're buddies with Larry Larson, so I remember that day we went and sat in his truck because that was when he still had that.
Yeah, that was fun. That's Larry was there. That's right.
Rich asked, does Blayne have an old guy instructional YouTube guide?
Can you help, Rich?
Okay. I don't know if you're on your phone or if you're on your computer. Just go over to let's see. Oh, thanks for $2, by the way.
Yeah, dude. He didn't even ask you a question.
Go to youtube.com on Google or Safari, and then you probably have to sign in or create an account, and then you go to the search bar and look up whatever you want.
Yeah. Yep. It's that easy. And then what you do is you take all the videos that are on your phone and you upload them.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, especially car stuff, for Rich, for sure, car stuff for Rich, because we know he's got to have a ton of automotive videos on there for sure. So I want to thank Dudes with Wrenches. Appreciate the super chat there. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really excited about Sick Week. So let's talk about that for a minute, because one, I've never really spent a ton of time in Florida.
Nope,
and
I've never been to Florida.
Oh man, that's cool. And then
that has been.
So we're gonna, to be down there and do car stuff is gonna be just so much fun. So what do you guys need to do to get the car ready for Sick Week?
I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit real quick. Before Sick Week even came about, like even in the makings, Doug Cook is trying to get us to come out to Florida for FL2K and a few things, but obviously we didn't make FL2K. And Doug was like, you guys got to come out here. It's a blast. You all get to race all winter and stuff. So we were already planning on going to Florida, and then Sick Week came about, and, we had to get a spot. Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be like, as far as like everybody, shorter cruises. I think Tom's going to put on like stuff at night. Like, I think that's just going to be really, really cool.
I think that's awesome that he's doing that. Like, you can spend more time at checkpoints, and you can actually experience them.
Yep.
I've never been to Disney, whatever place that is. Are we going to?
Yeah, whichever
I
one.
don't know what the difference between either one. So mistake me if I'm wrong. Disney World or Disneyland, one or the other. Either way, we're going to there, so that'll be cool that we can actually like go in and walk around.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and then to be around all of our car folks while we're also doing
car guys walking around. So it's hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up?
Yep.
That's going to be cool, man. I'm looking forward to that as well.
And it'll be good for YouTube content because there will be a lot more. The videos will definitely be longer.
Yeah. So, one, what do you shoot with? And then two, what do you edit with?
What did you say?
What do you shoot with and what do you edit with?
GoPro Hero 9, and then I was borrowing a buddy's Hero 5 for in-car camera.
Yeah.
And so,
What do you edit with?
and then I edit with Creative Cloud Premiere Pro.
That's cool. So that's you're over my head already with your editing ability. So congratulations on that. That's probably some of the age factor there is a good thing too.
Well, I just go into Google and I like look up music and I'm like, make sure it's not copyright, like you haven't heard it anywhere else, and call it a day. And then I like find sound effects on the internet. That's all I do.
So who taught you how to do that?
And there's a lot of people have told me, like, have led me and told me kind of things to do. But Chad at Motion Raceworks, he's their filmer and editor. He hooked me on Creative Cloud Premiere Pro stuff. So
that is
okay. So
too cool.
Anybody on the backstory on that is this cat went to Motion for a week.
Yes.
And
he did not work there. He did not work there.
He does not work there. Yeah.
And I got to thank Jordan too. He helped me out with some of the editing stuff. He's one of the other editors there. He's actually kind of what started Blayne's World. If you guys know, that's the intro to every video now.
Yeah.
So he started that.
That's too cool, man. It's so neat. Like the reach that you're getting by, one, asking, like that's always a big plus to do, but then two, like your enthusiasm to learn, so that's always a plus. I do want to say Alita came in. She said, Blayne doesn't have a guide, but mom just hands him her phone so he can get YouTube on it for her.
All right, so we got a little sidetracked, but back to where we were.
Yeah. Thank you for keeping up with what we were talking about, because I
kind of forgot what the question was.
Yeah, I told you we were going to squirrel real bad. We were talking about sick week and what you got to get ready on the car, and for you guys.
So if any of you guys know, we had a little backfire, and then it caught the air cleaner on fire at one of the last events at Vandermeer Speedway, which is our home track. There's a stick race up there, and so we had a little backfire, and it caught the air cleaner on fire. No big deal. Went to start the car and drive it home. Dad pulled it off the track just to, make sure everything's fine. Dad pulled it off the track and then got back to the pits. We did a leak down test. The motor checked out fine, and so we were thinking about driving into Fort Collins to see our buddy Joe Barry. There was a little cruise night up there, or Fort Collins, Colorado Springs. We were going to go up there and visit him, and then got in the car and went to leave, and we were hearing some weird noises, and then it wouldn't go into gear. So we ended up leaving it at Vandermeer, and Dad went and got it the next day. So that's a little bit there, and then we got it home, and needless to say, the snout of the transmission, which is what hooks to the input, or not the input, throat bearing, was broke off because of the what's it called? What goes in the crank? I always forget it.
Pilot bearing.
I'm pretty sure what caused it was the pilot bearing somehow malfunctioned, which caused the transmission. The flywheel came loose, which caused the throwout bearing to disintegrate because now the transmission's doing this because it doesn't know where to go because it's leaning on splites and everything. And so bolts are, one of them is got a little debris. And so after it broke the pilot bearing, it broke the snout of the transmission. So
the bearing retainer,
the bearing retainer, what I'm calling it.
Dang.
That's what
So what's it take to fix that? Like
a clutch? Well,
so it's actually in the mail.
Yeah,
it's on its way back to Kale, which it was due for a service anyway. So that we run our clutch really soft, so it wears out the disc, and the hydraulic throwout bearing rides on the bearing retainer. And when the flywheel came loose, it started wiggling around. It wasn't straight no more, and took the bearing out, which then was wobbling around. And I don't think it broke bent the main shaft, but the input shaft. I'm sorry, but we sent it back to Liberty, and they're going to look at it. So Liberty is building the TKX for us, and Brad there's been helping us a lot with that. And we have one of the first gearboxes that they did. So we kind of sent it back as an inspection to see what's going on inside and make sure we're on the up and up. And then he's going to check the run out of the input shaft and get us handled there. So
That's
parts
awesome.
are getting fixed, but if we were going to have to change that on the side of the road, we would have put the pilot bearing in, which we always have, and then another clutch, which we carry too, which is on cloud, just a backup. And then we could ask for parts, obviously get our parts back at the next racetrack, and then we would have pulled the bearing retainer off the spare transmission, which we have, and then put that on the race transmission, took it to the track, put the transmission back in and hit the road.
That's crazy.
We probably could have had that done in an hour and a half.
we basically had everything on board in the trailer to fix it if we needed to. We just opted not to because it was like dark and 8 o'clock at night, and I was ready to go home.
And you've already race weeked a couple times this year. Like what?
Yeah,
You're not proving anything to anybody.
Race on the hill here, like we go race week style. There's no reason to load it in the trailer. We just load it up and go.
Dad always asks me, he's like, you want to put it in the trailer and haul it up there? You want to drive it up there? I'm like, I don't feel like loading everything out of that trailer and putting it in that trailer. Just so we can come back home and put it all back in that trailer.
Yep, that's
right.
right.
So mainly we drive it up there.
That's right. So CP, the tool addict, sent some more money here. He said, Blayne, watch out for them Iowa fellers. They'll get you in trouble. We were talking about the motion guys.
Richard Guido asked a hydraulic or mechanical throwout bearing, and we run hydraulic. Haven't quite got to the mechanical yet.
Gotcha. So, we
but haven't got there.
We had Bill on a couple weeks ago, and talking about Blank Shift Billy setup. I mean, have you talked to him any about doing that, or like
we talked to Bill a little bit about that, and I've been chatting with him how we might use that here, especially on race week. Like the whole idea is to go A to B down the racetrack, and it might be neat to have that on board to make some last minute adjustments.
You
I'm not a good tuner. I mean, I can read the racetrack and we make an idea of what's going on, but I have to read the racetrack and try to make good judgment calls to get down the racetrack. So what does Rich say? It's kind of stupid. Yes.
We were talking with Nico Christoferi the other day. He was on with Stone Cipher and them, and I was just talking about the violence that goes into like a nitrous stick car. Like it just hits. You know what I mean? Especially like his car setup. Like he doesn't have a slipper clutch or anything. It's just like foot off.
So you're right. That I call that kamikaze style driving because I did that for a long time and I broke a ton of stuff.
Back to the 56, by the way.
Yeah. And this car I approached it much differently because I was tired of that. In the race week thing, you have to make it live.
That's what made that TKO 600 live. Was the sliding the clutch.
So I slide the clutch a lot. That's why we're doing what we're doing.
That's why our clutches get worn.
Yeah, I'd rather put a clutch in it than put transmissions and rear ends and drive shafts in it.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Like, you start looking at the cost of, wearing a clutch out as compared to, destroying a drive shaft or a rear end while you're, making a pass or whatever,
Right.
Like, a clutch is probably less expensive than, whatever.
It is much less expensive. Once you've broken a transmission, it's broken. You can repair it and do whatever, but it will break easier the next time because it distorts the case.
Yeah.
And so I've learned that the hard way, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So this thing being heavy and small tire and makes a little bit of power now, like we have to be cautious of how we run and things. So
the car weighs 40-50 with the driver.
And that's crazy. He's like, Dad's like, don't be telling everybody that.
No, I don't. It doesn't. There's no secrets, man. There's no secrets.
It doesn't look like it's light, so.
Yeah.
What are you going to tell them it weighs 3,800 pounds? No.
Yeah. I mean, Nope. That wouldn't be any fun. Like, why would you even 3,100 maybe you could tell them, or 5,500.
I wish it was 3,100. Gee whiz.
Oh, yeah. It'd be crazy.
they think we're doing something wrong if I told them it was 31.
Yep. So
What
one
are you
thing,
guys doing? You're spraying 300 and it's only going 1050s.
yeah, oh yeah, yep,
What are you doing wrong?
One thing I always try and figure out is like, and you answered it earlier, was like, does the car stay in street trim? Like, is it like a race car and then you just get it just enough ready for race week? But I think you answered that earlier. It stays ready to go all the time.
So this thing is, I mean, it's just a 55 Chevy. And if we weren't going to Florida, we'd be driving it now. Like it's just a driver.
That's cool.
But it stays however we left it the last time, if we're going to go out again or something. But
yeah,
but it's in street trim until we get to the racetrack, and then we move it to race trim and go do it, which is about a 45-minute thing to swap it,
which isn't bad considering. I mean, we have to take the shocks off to drop the rear end, which you have to pull the exhaust off because you got to get the rear end low enough to get the tires out of the fender well, because it's not cut, and that's why all the gasser guys did that.
Yep.
Cut the fender wells so you can get the tires in and out, and obviously you get a better tire in there if you do that. So
yeah, that's funny. I struggle with the same thing on the old truck because it's got such low fenders, kind of like the like that car there.
Mom's bringing dinner out.
Oh, nice.
She's sneaking in here.
Yeah,
she won't come over here, but she's sneaking in and out.
Oh, that's funny. Well, hey, I know she's gone now, but I certainly appreciate her. All the comments back and forth for the shirts, and then obviously the pictures from earlier. So that's always cool.
That's great.
Yep. And sadly, you answered this question too earlier. Was like, do you guys yard sell it or do you carry a trailer with you? Carrying all the parts, like you've got to have a trailer. So I'll ask
2 race weeks.
I was going to ask, like,
go ahead.
Do you feel like if a newbie, because somebody had asked earlier, kind of newbie, style questions, what they should expect. Should a first timer, should they yard sell it? Should they just take the beating and load and unload that car every time?
Well, it depends on how fast you're trying to go. If you're a newbie and you're trying to go 15s, you're not going to carry what we carry to run that car.
Yep.
But if you're a newbie and you've been around drag racing, you don't quite know what to bring, but you got to bring some stuff, which you're going to overpack the first year. I mean, we did that. And we quickly realized we were bringing a lot of stuff because the car was, it's 4,000 pounds, and we wanted to carry some stuff to make sure we could make a live.
Yeah.
And so we drove it down the road with all our stuff in the back the first few years. And it was...
The good news is it all fit in the car. The bad news is it all fit in the car, man.
Yes.
So
and then you couldn't have anybody ride in the back if they needed to ride.
Yeah.
And now you have a whole back seat open for, your luggage or your whatever.
Yeah.
It's suspension travel too. We were moving shock locations and bottoming the car out, just going down the road, and we decided it might be smarter to let the trailer carry the weight, and we'll just pull the trailer along. And we've refined over the years, and we've been building a little trailer, purpose-built trailer for race week, and that, as everybody knows, that helps a lot. So
Jeremy said Royce would have been walking.
He would have been.
That's funny. Yeah. I think, like, if somebody, just like you said, if somebody's in a slower car and you're not necessarily going to change tires every time, you're not trying to get that last inkling of that, 100th of a second out.
Yeah.
Just, you can load everything up in the car. But the thing is, I was just thinking, it's like packing for vacation and packing and unpacking every single day.
It
is
a lot like that.
Then do it when you're tired and you've been on, it's
kind of like you're packing for vacation, but you're not sure if you're going to Alaska or Florida. And so you need to unload your sweaters and winter coats when you're in Florida at the pool. Like, why did we bring this stuff?
Yep.
Pack. The thing about going to these drag and drive events is we know valve train's going to suffer. We just know that. So you bring parts for valve train. And I've said this to everybody, right? the thing that's going to get you is the unforeseen. Dennis Taylor, they broke a brake caliper bracket. And I don't know how you break one of those, but I could probably figure it out. Someone else, Andy Cook, lost a front wheel. They bent a front wheel, right? Well, who brings a front wheel, a spare front wheel? You know what I mean? Well, I guess
Royce does.
Rich and Bill do, and Royce. I mean, there's a few guys that have done that because that's an unforeseen, that's going to happen. So that's the biggest thing is you gotta know you're going to have to fix the unexpected.
Yep. Yeah. And that's what, so 2.0 last year, 2020, I was with Jonathan, and I mean, 40 millimeter gun drilled axle bearing goes bad, like he's like, I would have never thought that would have happened. And he had thousands of miles on that car already. And that's what happens,
So that is one thing that we do a lot. So after each race week, like we take this thing back apart and like look at it and try to beat some of those things to it.
Yep.
But yes, carrying spare transmission and clutches, automatic guys are surprised. The stick guys are like proud.
Yeah, they're like, well, yeah, why wouldn't you? I can only imagine.
Yeah. Rich, do you carry a transmission with you? I don't know that.
He's got to, like, that dude drives 2,000 miles to get to the event.
I know it.
And then 2,000, he better have a trans with him just in case. And that, like, awesome. 2 clutches. That dude needs to have 2 clutches with him. I'd love to have him on because I'd love to hear the story of crossing the border. Like I think he was talking, or maybe Bill was telling the story of like him having to like ship his car across the border and then like fly in and drive up to get it.
Man, I gotta say, I was just so disappointed and my heart was broken for those guys because they couldn't even get here to do it. And we're lucky enough that we're here that we can go do it.
Yep.
So I was super proud and excited. Like when he finally got there, like you can plan, and then if they won't let you back in, like, this is a problem.
Yeah. Well, we had Nick on a couple weeks ago, and he's Australian, and it's the same thing. He planned for a year, and then they're like, "Hey, you can't come back," and he's like, "What? No, I want to come back home."
Yeah, it's weird. I'm a little bit nervous. Like we're going to Florida. Like I've never traveled that far to do anything. And I'm not sure how to, like, that's a long ways away, but Rich is doing that every time, come on, saddle up. Let's go, cowboy. Come on. Don't be afraid. Let's go.
Yep. Yeah. At any point.
And he's driving his car. I'm towing it with my pickup truck,
He's crazy. I love that dude. I think I've been by him once and I'm like, yep, that dude's what's up. He said, miss my family for 2 years. Nothing better than a Blayne fist bump in staging.
I need to mention something about that. So as I'm going down the racetrack, this cat is bumping fists and saying hi, going pit to pit to pit to pit to pit. And I don't know that, right? I'm just coming back and he's there. So I'm on the phone maybe with Doug ordering some parts or somebody just doing normal work for at work, business stuff. And by the way, man, I think your kid's pretty cool. I was like,
what?
Really? I mean, what? I don't understand. He's like, oh man, every pass he says hi or fist bump, or I'm loaded in the car, strapped in, and Blayne comes up, fist bumps me like that's the best thing ever. And that just made me feel good.
Yep. It was funny. Like, I don't know if he gathered this, but I think I was way more excited about him putting that sticker on the Narcs cart than I think anybody. I was like, yes, this was the coolest time ever. So it was awesome to go day one and like, we had to peel the stickers off from last year. And all. I know I was like, he's got to be busy, but like, dude, I appreciated that. That was really cool.
That's fun. I had no idea that this would mean anything to anybody like that. So it's pretty neat to see people are excited about us. And I guess I don't even know what to say about it. We're just out doing what we do, and we like everyone the same. We're just out doing the same thing that you guys are. Ain't no different,
Yeah, you're just way cooler than the rest of us.
I don't know about that, man. We're just doing what we do here, man.
So, what's y'all's favorite part about Drag and Drive events? What do you like the most?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Personally, I like the adrenaline rush of honestly, I like 1.0 because it's kind of, I mean, it's still like the rush, but it's calmed down. But I like 2.0 better because you have to do it. Like, it's got to be faster. You don't get as much sleep, but I feel like it's more fun.
No, dude, listen, by Thursday we had 18 hours of sleep total since Saturday morning. It was pretty brutal. We were editing videos at night is I don't know if it's the way to go, but that's what we did. I want to say thanks to Straight Six Fan. They have a live feed every Thursday night. Great dudes. I was a co-host over there. I've been a guest on it.
That's cool, man. Good for you.
It's limited to an hour. I can't do an hour. Like, it took us an hour to get rolling here. But he's an inline six guy. He's kept his 302 in his Fairmont, which I don't think anybody in the world has ever done that.
That's fun.
Yeah. So by this here, money for more 5.3s, definitely going to be pushing some limits on the LS and the old truck. I've got Trailblazer SS intake and some bigger injectors. We're gonna see if we can get like a low 11, maybe a high 10. So early next year.
That's awesome. So, I think one of my favorite pieces of race week is in the staging lanes. We're kind of the calm before the storm, if you will. Yeah. My wife's there with the camera going. Alita's got the camera going, and Blayne's doing his thing, talking to people and this and that. And we all have to have horns, and I have a 55 Chevy with a horn in it.
It's the factory horn, and it's pretty stout still.
That's awesome.
To me, that's fun being strapped in. I got my kids strapping me in. And if there's anything like I think of, because you're just sitting there like, okay,
I did the
all right,
same
are
thing
we
in my
good?
junior.
Are we ready to go? What's the nitrous pressure? Is the heater on? So I beep, beep, and he knows like just, yep, what do you need, man? And that to me that means a lot to me. And then our fist bump before I stage it, that means a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And like, it's funny you saying the calm before the storm. It really is like there's a moment, like just it's probably 30 seconds where it's like everything just kind of, okay, checklist, good, I'm good. Yep, let's go.
It's the same thing in the junior. Like, Dad, I mean, you got a million thoughts when you roll under that tower.
Yep.
You got every single thought going through your mind. And
yep. Did I tighten that bolt?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Did I tighten that? Did I close that valve? Did I?
Yep.
Did I?
Yep.
For so long I've been that guy outside the car making sure my buddy or whoever we've been racing with is good. But now it's cool to be in the car and you see my buddy Brew out there, or Royce is out there in front, like making sure everything's covered. Like the guy's good, put it here in the groove. Like that stuff to me is like, that's where it's at. I really enjoy that part.
Yep. And, we all race with our friends. I mean, obviously, but like, there's extended family that we get to race with on race week. You know, so that's always a cool.
Yeah.
Daniel Green here. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's the regular cab Dodge diesel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Red and white. Said staging lane talks are the best. 100% agree with that.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Straight Six Fan says Blayne sounds like a cool dude. He definitely is. And I think he's always, I think a pillar in the community of the staging lanes. Everybody kind of, you walk by, it's always a smile, always an encouraging word, like to put the 100 shot in, go ahead and go for the big button.
When you're in the lanes, it's a little late to put that in, I guess.
Yeah.
There's sometimes when I'm a little pissed off, but I still try to like be happy,
Yep.
Yeah, because I let him down. I probably missed a gear or something. That's why he's pissed off.
Right. He's all mad at you. He's like,
be sad. It's because something didn't go right.
Yep. That's typically what it is. So let's dig into the wagon. Okay. Let's pay everybody that has been with us for an hour and a half. So we got to know, I want to know the backstory. I want to know, you said you've had it a while. I want to know how long you had it, like where you got it, things like that.
So I bought the car when I was racing my 56. Alita had made a comment that she didn't want a station wagon unless it was like our friend's car. He's got a black and white 56 wagon that another friend of mine that I grew up with is called Betty, 56 wagon called Betty.
Oh, nice.
Black and white. It was like his 56, but it was a wagon.
Yep.
Oh, that's
third row seat, by the way.
So anyhow, I find several cars, this being one of them, and buy them all and end up selling them all and keeping this car for basically nothing. And 6-cylinder, 3-speed overdrive car, and drove it probably 80,000 miles in that configuration with AC and a big stereo in it. So this thing's got 2 10s under the front seat and a giant 90s style amplifier that's about 200 pounds. But I won't take it out because I like that. When we go down the road, we're getting down pretty good.
Yeah, that's streetcar stuff right there, friend.
That's streetcar stuff, right? Yeah, streetcars for the win to the front.
That's right. That's right. I'm excited about this comment. Sorry to break it there for a second, but Matt Frost, the man, the myth, the legend in here.
And sick week. That's awesome.
Dude,
I think it's awesome. He's been doing.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready to hang out with him, and him not be as stressed.
That guy, he's got a lot on his shoulders, and so I'm excited for him to be on the other side of it for a change and get to enjoy his car and get to enjoy driving around and take a load off a little bit,
Yeah, it's going to be a blast.
He's always been putting on the event, but he's never really, he's done one or two, maybe 3 or 4 of his own. I think he did. I think he did the first one and maybe the second one, but after that, he's like, you just can't.
Yeah, it's a lot to do, right?
Yeah. So it's going to be a ton of fun having him. And then, also the other side of that too is Tom's event will be a little different in some way. And that'll translate to how can you race week, alter that for race week and and then those guys are going to get together, Tom and Matt are going to get together and then they're going to have conversations and it's only going to get better. I can't wait.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. It's totally cool, man.
Yep.
Totally cool.
And then Bill Armstrong.
Hi, Bill.
In here.
Bill's about 35 minutes southwest of us a little bit. So that's
nice.
Pretty cool.
What I'm hearing is I need to come to Colorado for a visit.
Sure. Come on, man. We got a spare bedroom for you. Come on with it.
Even better. Okay. Yep. So back to the car. So you stereo, inline 6 and you said 3.
Yeah. So we drove it a long time. It's been to Austin, Texas for the roundup. It's been to California. It's been to Kansas, of course. Des Moines, South Dakota, we drove it all over the place, right? And raised our kids in it. And
Kansas was the first me and you event that we went on. Because
I
remember that me and you drove to Kansas.
Or for the Good Guys event?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's cool.
There's a picture of me.
See, how cool is that, right? Remember that?
There's a picture of me polishing the front bumper, wiping down the bumper.
Yeah. Clean wheels or whatever,
Nice.
And really, it was just getting tired, and we needed to freshen it up a little bit. And I wanted to do it, but I didn't want it to get it apart and not ever be able to get it put back together. I was really afraid of that because how these things, they snowball so dang bad.
Oh yeah.
And,
While I'm in here, I'll just do this. While I'm in here, I'll just do this, and then it's 5 years
later.
Well,
that's exactly what happens, right? And then, as he was kind of talking about earlier, I needed a car for AMBR at Pomona Roadster Show, Grand National Roadster Show. Because everything I had at work, we couldn't really take. There was nothing ready for metal. We're doing another car to go to Detroit as well, so I can't show that.
Yeah.
And so it was I need something to go to Pomona, and it was end of the year, between Christmas and New Year. And I decided that let's just take this thing apart, and we'll freshen it up and put the drivetrain in it that I've been stashing. And like Bruce says, just a little motor swap.
The engine was sitting on the engine stand for I don't know how long. It was put together, waiting to be put into something. It was sitting on an engine stand next to his workbench at work, waiting.
We were gathering parts, and I had about everything ready to go. So it was time to do it, and I had a deadline. So we took this thing apart on New Year's Day, January 1st. And the Roadster Show is the end of January, the 26th, my badge is right there, 26th of January. And so we took it apart, set up rear suspension, set up engine trans mounts. After hours, didn't do this on company time. And it was together and in the trailer by the end of January, looking like it does now. So we hustled for sure. Brew was there, of course.
Every weekend was focused on that car.
It was, but there's another thing that was crazy in there. I had promised a guy I'd go to the Chili Bowl with him in Tulsa. the Chili Bowl's in January.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I went to the Chili Bowl while parts were out being painted and powder coated and everything. And so I had a weekend that I didn't work on it in January as well, and we still took it to the Grand National.
That's crazy. So are you an annual Chili Bowl guy, or are you
I am not.
okay, I was gonna say, if you get that close to me and we don't get together, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah. I would like to, but we're always so busy in January doing stuff like this year. I can't go. I got things going, and,
yeah. Yep.
And it's usually like the week before or after the roaster show, right? So we're busy prepping for that.
Yeah.
So
yep. Sorry. CP the Tool Addict has asked this twice, so let's hit it real quick. He said, "Would you recommend attending Rocky Mountain Race Week before trying to compete if you haven't ever done it?" I think if you go, you just compete, like just race, man. Like get your car sorted enough to where you can pick a decent class you'll be competitive in, and then just go.
Well, it's not even that you have to be competitive in the class. It's just that you're there. Like the first year is kind of seeing how it goes.
Yep.
The first year is usually not the greatest year because you don't know really what's happening quite yet.
Yep.
The second year you go, or the second race week you go, it becomes kind of pretty good.
Yep. And I think, like, as you were saying that, the more I think about like my progression last year to this year, there was a lot more YouTube video that I watched this year of getting ready, and like what to look for and things like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Royce
hit it right on the head.
Yeah. He said, race week is the cause of all projects getting finished. Otherwise, they would still just be projects.
Wait, exactly car shows and races, there is no other reason to getting done.
Well, like you've car guys, and for a while I wanted to try and develop some kind of app or something that would create accountability within car guys that we would care about. Typically we'll tell somebody to kiss it if they're trying to stay honest too hard about finishing a project, but that's a lot of it. Like you've got to pick like I'm going to this event. I want to get it ready by this date. So.
Yep. Brew and Royce and we all kind of push on each other a little bit. Just keep making sure, like, hey, are you working on your stuff? And Doug at Motion was pushing for a while. They're like, work on your car an hour a day.
Yep.
1 hour a day, and it'll get done.
Yep.
And there is a big truth to that. If you just do something. You put 2 zip ties on, or you make a list, or you put the tranny in, or something. Mm-hmm. Those things turn into big things, and then you get rolling, and things get done. So that's just something I do at work. Like you just keep pushing. You got to push to the end to get done. So,
well, the cool thing about an hour a day is like that hour turns into an hour and a half, and then 2 hours.
It does.
But then you have time to order the parts that you need. Right. So if you go out, I'm going to work all day Saturday on it. Oh, well, shoot, I don't have this X. Well, if you had put in an hour on Tuesday night, you'd have ordered that part and it'd have been there on Friday, and you'd have had it for the 5 hours you're going to work on Saturday. So.
Yep, for sure.
Yep. Anyways, sorry. Back to the car. I told y'all I was going to squirrel real bad.
No, it's okay. I like these guys commenting. That's pretty fun because I've never been on this side of it. It's a little bit strange. Like, hey, we can actually talk about that, and they can hear us.
Yeah. And again, I said it earlier, these live feeds are so much fun, especially I think for guests. I know that sometimes people get tired of hearing me, but I think them being able to really visit with you, we're having conversations here with people in the comments and things like that. So Streetcar Chronicles said he's working on the car right now. So
nice. Perfect. That's perfect time to do that. You don't need to watch us. Just listen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He said 2 hour tonight, alignment tomorrow, and to the track Saturday. Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
Yep.
Awesome.
Hang on, she's hanging.
Power plant and suspension is my next topic for the
okay, go ahead.
wagon.
So, power plant on the car is truck 60 LS block. It's got Manley Molly pistons, which is big story on that. We'll get into that in a little bit. I don't know what rods did we put
Manley
in?
rods.
Yeah, it's got Manley rods in it, and then it's got Frankenstein LS3 ported heads on it. It's got stock lifters in it. It's got a comp cam in it. good valve trim. It's got column valve train in it.
Mhm.
Induction Solutions intake. Well, it's our intake with Induction Solutions Nitrous kit on it. Holly AFI. The Holly that's where it's at.
Oh
then-
yeah, for sure. Are you guys running a Dominator setup in it then?
Dominator.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then transmission is clutch is Black Magic. Talked a little bit about those guys, and then Liberty Gears. It's got Mark Williams rear end, third member axles, drive shaft, all that good stuff in there. So that stuff hasn't failed us yet.
Yeah.
And I don't think it ever will. It's so strong. And then it's a 4.9-inch axle tube, and we have a cup car rear end we're thinking about putting in the car too. So it'll be a little stronger, a little bit more durable. But now it's just got like some kind of.
It's a truck housing.
Yeah, it's a truck housing. So,
Oh, gotcha. Okay. That's cool.
And then
So what would be the difference in that setup? See, I told you, like, you guys are way smarter than I am. I don't know, the difference in like a truck and then
our stick car guys will be in there, especially our heavy guys like Bill and Rich.
Yeah.
They bend housings,
Like,
and then it tweaks the housing, and we don't have room to put a braced up housing in it.
You can notice ours is a little like, it's not tweaked where it's noticeable, but if you look at it, kind of, if you were to put a straight edge on it, you'd probably notice it.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get it more durable. So we don't take out bearings, and we're looking for that next 10th.
Yeah.
Not that
awesome.
we're being a 10th out of a housing. I wish we could, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I come from
That's good.
I come from motorcycle stuff, and bearings were a big deal on
Right.
Wheelies and stoppies and stuff. You longer stoppie if you had a little better bearing, it's not as much drag.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
It's same thing with like juniors. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy how much we picked up by just changing the bearings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've done some stuff in bearings on that I learned a lot about. So that's been pretty fun.
He spent the night working on bearings, and I was like, "What are you doing over there? It's fine. Just put the bearing in the car."
yeah.
It'll be
He's
fine."
like, no. So, is that how your brain works, Tom? Like, are you trying to figure out like, what if I do this? What if I do this? Like, is that because like that's not just something you're throwing parts at. You're like trying to figure out.
No, throwing parts at it's one thing. Like you gotta have good stuff, but I'm always looking for the next thing. Like every pass we make in this car, we try to go faster. I don't care if it's a bracket race and we're in the final, which I would never be in the final of a bracket race because I suck. But
You were doing good on the light the other day, though. I was like kind of surprised. Anyways,
but yeah, I'm always looking to make things better and how do we make it not kill anything. And Brad and I at Liberty really been talking a lot about how to make the shifter shift better because I am a horrible H pattern shifter. I've always raced an inline vertigate shifter.
Mm-hmm.
And that you just never thought about that. You just pulled and pushed the stick and it just drops in the next gear. And
Yep.
I won this thing 3 times
4 times.
on race week, and we didn't break nothing, but I was quite embarrassed that I'd done that. But
Dang, that's crazy.
I'm still trying to get there,
Yeah. Rich is here. He's putting on new Heim joints on the anti-roll bar as he listens. Garage therapy is the best, especially with the live feed on. I'll agree with him.
I agree, Rich. Good job, man. Keep it up.
Yep.
I feel like you can't focus on what you're doing if you don't have something on. Like,
dude, I'm telling you, I struggle with it.
It's
Yeah,
weird.
like so typically at work, like my day job, I'm in an office and nobody's in there. It's like me and 2 other people and they're on the other side. And so I've got to have an earbud in because I'm like,
I get annoyed if there's no
too
background
quiet.
music. I hate it being
Yeah.
silent. It's just like I feel like I'm alone.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Austin Coyle and John Forrest. That's crazy. I have a lot of respect for Austin Coyle. Let me tell you, I appreciate that comment. It means more than you think.
That's cool. He said you got to palm it from 2 to 3.
I'm learning that, Bill, and we should have a conversation about that. I'm starting to figure that out.
Dude, Jay's throwing you under the bus. So you lost to an escort wagon in the bracket race.
Did I really? I
Oh,
might
man.
have. That's very possible.
Yeah, wagon on wagon crime. That's the worst ever. Every
Anyway.
time I grab the ball, I money shift it. Palm is the key.
Okay.
Yeah, you can watch like some of my in-car cameras. You'll see him when he holds it like this and shifts it. you can get the 1-2 down, and then he goes to for the 2-3, and you'll see it in it every time. And then he moved to the palm, and it just worked. And I was like, maybe you should do that.
I slowed down too. When I get frustrated, I figured out that I try to make it up in the shift, and it just doesn't work.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Don't make it up in the 2-3. Make it up in the 3-4.
And I'm getting there. I just need more seat time is all. Been a long time since the race, so
that's awesome.
You
So
never really raced in H pattern.
yeah.
So suspension wise, like what do you guys run? What's on the back? Is it 4-link car?
Nope. So it's a stock suspended.
What?
Stock suspended, stock spring location with QA1 double adjustable shocks on it. And those are Landrum springs I have in it. And Caltrack in it, like an off-the-shelf Caltrack that I got some things I want to try back there, but I need to get the rest of the thing figured out before I make some changes.
It's nothing special.
It really isn't.
It just works so well. I figured it was all kinds of special stuff.
I'm kind of trying. I mean, this whole car is an experiment. It is a stock frame, 9-inch forward, stock leaf spring location. There's no magic back there. It's just we're just thinking about things and trying to make good decisions.
Well, there's no room to put a 4-link back there.
Well, that's the whole point. It's like this is a 55 Chevy. There's nothing magical about this. It's just a 55 Chevy with a bench seat in it and in stock suspension. We're just trying to muscle it down through there.
That's cool.
Front end I have is just all rebuilt with rubber bushings in it, hide strap spindles with double adjustable QA1 coilover conversion, and it's still manual steering, not power steering or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't steer it feels like it has power steering, except for when you're stopped.
Yeah, so Matt's making a comment here I think is kind of fun. I didn't realize he even knew who we were, let alone making laps down a racetrack that he was doing. But it's fun that he asked me a couple things like, how are you making that thing work? And I need your help here to set this next car up for June. So that's pretty cool, man.
Yep. Yeah, he's a neat dude. Yeah. He's a neat dude. And it's cool to have him in here too, because of, just like the level of thought process I think that he puts into that event is what really like we've hosted a bunch of events, dude. I can't imagine putting on something like what he does.
Right. Well, and he thinks it and works it every day, man. It's very apparent. He's very active on social media, and that's cool, man. I like that.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. So let's one more round, probably of like sponsor stuff too, I think, because we just went through the powertrain and suspension, but like wheels and tires, kind of going back to the manual steering. Like, are you like, what do you call it? Front runner tires on the front?
So I have they're Halabrand knockoff type wheels. They're from American Rebel. The front wheels are actually a kidney bean. They call a kidney bean wheel. And it's got a Firestone 60s vintage tire on it, bias ply. And we flipped them around backwards because I like the looks of them better on the back side. And
everybody asked me that. They're like, why?
Where did you get those wheels?
Are those custom or what? And I'm like, well, if I wanted to take those wheels off, which they suck to take off because they have those stupid lug nuts on them, which I hate. They're just
they gall up in the wheel. That's all.
Anyways,
gotcha.
I would show you. It's any other kidney bean Halabrand out there.
That's cool.
Around.
The rear wheel is a 16.8 called a Trick 8, and that's the key to getting this thing down the road. So I run a 513 rear gear in it usually.
What, dude? Yeah. That's crazy. You leave it in second gear? Holy sheesh!
It's a stick shift car, and they have to have gear ratio to get them down a racetrack. And I don't make any power.
You could ask Bill or.
I don't know what those guys run. They make quite a bit more power than we do. Yeah. And so that's a vintage pie crust slick on it that we cheater slick that we run down the road.
Hard as a rock, by the way.
Yeah, it really is. They are really hard. Yeah.
Like in the mornings, you can feel them.
So after a long day of driving, when they're hot and we park, they'll flat spot.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, Bill said he's on a
370.
Yeah, so they make a much more power than we do.
I was gonna say he's got to get that mile per hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Those are big boy gears. We don't have big boy gears yet.
Yeah,
Kid drive stick, by the way.
He drives this car. He can drive
What?
this car around the compound and stuff. Yep.
That's cool. That is cool.
Course.
Mom's asking TBM brakes soon? Question mark.
Well, Doug's been like pushing us a little bit on that. He's like, y'all want some TBMs or anything? And I'm like, that might be kind of cool. Maybe.
Yeah.
So we have Willwoods on the rear, and then the front stuff is just GM
Conversion
calipers
stuff.
on it. Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, it might turn into some TBM stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Bill's
Yep.
Saying Rich is running the 350 gear.
There you
Yeah.
go.
See, those are big boy numbers. We're not that cool yet.
We ain't making it.
And this car probably will never be that cool. There's other projects we got in the wings.
Yeah, you know what? We never even talked about any of that. So let's talk about future plans for the wagon, and then let's get into that stuff, and then we'll let you guys eat because, like, you're staring at your dinner over there. So, fastest the car's been, and then what the future plans are.
The car's been 10:09 at 130. Oh wait, it's been 135.
We've been 135 in it so far.
So it on the 10:09 it went like 133, but we've been 135 in it, and that was 10:30 something on the mountain. So future plans, honestly, not sure because well, the car was only supposed to go 12s, and then Nitrous came in, and then became a flogger, and now it has a transmission, and now it has a clutch. And so, honestly, who knows what's next?
We'll probably go. The goal is really to go 950s in it, and just say we have a 952nd station wagon. Like, who has that? That's crazy.
Well,
but I don't want to kill my car. I don't want to crash it. I don't want to hurt it. So we're about done with this. Like, as far as making it faster, we will continue to race it at events, but I got 2 kiddos getting ready to drive here, and so I want them to share this crazy experience as well. So Mac's car will be next with the Mustang, so that should be out in the spring.
Oh, that's cool.
And
well,
then
hang on real quick. So 10:09. Do you think getting to sea level? You think maybe you end up with some of the 9s on sick week?
Well, that's
no problem.
That's our goal, is to go there, but we have a whole nother kit to fire. So
we could run 9s up here. Like, we could run constant 950s up here on the mountain.
It'll go 9s up here. We just need to get this thing figured out a little bit more.
Yep, that's cool. Okay, so let's talk about Mac's car because it's exciting.
So I bought a couple cars to sell because I buy and sell cars too a little bit, just on the side gig. And Mac seen this Mustang and it was like, "Hey, I want to use that." I was like, "Okay, well, we can make that for you. That's fine, And so anyhow, that's what we're doing there. 331 with a Vortec and a stick shift, of course. And so she'll be doing that. She's actually been working on it too. I should share some pictures of that. But
she's been working on the engine bay a little bit.
She's got the motor out and trans out, and she's been scrubbing on it on the lift on the bottom and on top and getting it ready. We're going to paint the engine compartment before we put the engine in. And so that's kind of our next deal. And then this winter we're going to dig his car out, and we're plotting and scheming on direction to go with that. So
we haven't really got the car out and started playing with it. It's more been talk about what we're thinking about doing with the car.
Yep. Now for the new folks, you got to tell them what it is.
So it's a 1955 or 56 Chevy 2-door post car, stick car, twin turbo, LT is where we're headed with it. So
that's awesome. That'll be cool. And so obviously that's 3. You've got the square body truck, you daily. What's Mom have?
Mom has a Mercedes Benz, which she considers herself as not so classy, so she doesn't think she should be driving a Mercedes.
Well, I'm in as far as like project car.
Oh, project car. Well,
it's right here.
No,
she's gonna be storming out here any minute, straightening this out. Let me tell you.
Once again, to go back to every car has a name. The Mercedes is called Benny.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she said
blue car for Mom.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. For the folks that don't know the inside joke there, Tom's not really a blue car guy, but the two cars that are important to him are blue. Daily and then the wagon.
Yep. Yep.
Dad's first car was green, by the way.
Nice.
So we have another car that I bought to sell that Mom's kind of latching on to. That's another Mustang.
Another blue one, by the way.
That's what she meant by the blue car thing. We haven't got to that yet. So it's a 351 with twins on it. It's a true 8.5 car,
like
right?
a tiny tire.
Yeah.
Like this tiny little thing. Smaller than the tires that's on this car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking about making some laps in that and see if she wants to do that. But it's a blue 89 Mustang.
Oh,
Fox
cool.
body. So
yeah, a Fox body's funny because like with the right 235 and the back spacing, man, it just looks so good.
I agree.
Yep.
I've been a Fox body for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
He used to race some of that stick shift Fox body stuff on the street.
Yep.
So Ed Dean here says Regal turquoise and India ivory. Probably talking
So is
about
that the color of your car then, Ed, or?
I would think so. I think the Regal turquoise is the green they had in that in the Fox body, right? I don't know. I don't know.
That was teal. I think it's teal, wasn't it?
I don't know, but that's blue.
That Wesley Evans, the
turquoise.
teal 93
That thing
Cobra
is
that
nice.
gets it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nitrous car, stick car, small block.
Yeah.
That thing's cool.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Ed's saying yes. So I would think he's probably talking about his cars there.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah. So you guys have some fun stuff.
It's taking a long time. It's like I said, this stuff doesn't just show up. You know,
No, that's for sure.
hard and you know, it shows up. But this is my whole life. Like cars are my whole life from when I was 10 years old and younger. You know, that's all I thought about was cars. And turns out there's boats that have motors in them too. That's kind of fun too. We just don't have any water around here to do that.
Dang. Yeah, you guys got to come visit us. Bring a high-powered boat. We'll take it on the lake we got right around the corner from me.
Yeah.
So now we have to build one of those too.
Yeah, don't tempt me with that. That sounds crazy.
That would be bad.
You know what would look super cool is like a late 60s, early 70s style jet boat out behind the wagon.
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah.
Oh no! Why did you start?
It's got a hitch on it and it's wired for lights, man.
I'm telling you.
Another backstory on the wagon. We're pretty sure before we got the wagon, it was a guy's fishing car boat because it's got things to put your fishing rods, and it used to have it had a plug for trailer wiring, and it was it's the same style plug that we have in it now. We just kind of
we gutted it and put a newer style plug in it.
Oh, that's awesome. What does she mean? She said, "What my boat rule?" What's that mean?
She says if we went and used the boat more than 2 or 3 times a year, we could actually have one.
Yeah. Yep. That's the struggle. I mean, like I had boats for a long time, and it has to be in the water, and you have to live close enough. And so I sold cars then full time. So I'd work 60 or 70 hours a week,
Right.
And like I'd get off work. I would leave at 4:00 on Tuesday and didn't have to be back till 10:00 on Thursday. And so from 5:14, I could be on the water. We were on the water. Like I rented a hotel like every other week that was right on the water. We just pull the boat right up all day the next day on it. But that was the only time I got on it,
Yeah, maybe someday I'll be able to own a boat, but probably not anytime soon.
Maybe. So CP here says, I've been to the Ozarks, and that is some crazy money. Yeah, don't get into boats unless you like spending money. Yeah, bust out another 1,000 is no joke.
Yeah. I don't. If we're race week in this stuff, I am out for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
This takes all we got. Lita and I both takes us both. Without her, I couldn't do this stuff.
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah, good team members is what matters the most.
Yeah. Okay, so Brett Watson has a green 70s Sanger.
It's called the Alkies Holler.
Yeah, Alki Holler. Yeah, boats have names too, right? Like race cars. But,
boats have to have names.
Yes, they do, right?
That thing's really nice.
Rob had a boat too, similar flat bottom that was pretty fun. I think it had an old or something in it, didn't it? Maybe.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We have a little bit of boat experience, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah,
You
got to be right up on it. So with you guys living there, I mean, there's tons of mountain bike stuff and, skiing and all that kind of stuff. Y'all do any of that?
Nope.
Nope.
Why would you pedal?
I've been skiing once, and that was because probably Mom forced me. I probably didn't really want to go.
I've never been skiing. I mean, I've lived here my whole life. The mountains, they're just right over there. They're right there. Yeah. It's fine. We can go there anytime. And I like going there, but it's so busy and the traffic gets there. I just
I can only imagine.
I probably should go more than we should, but than we do. But
and
my wife's from Kansas, right? So Lita's from Kansas, and it's like, hey, let's go to the mountains. I'm like, why? They're just right there. We'll go tomorrow.
Yeah. She's like, okay, well, I'm going.
Yeah, she totally does. So yeah, they went skiing without me.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I don't know what Dad was doing, but
I was probably working or something,
Well, cool. Well, guys, what haven't I asked you? I feel like we're 2 hours and 10 minutes in. I feel like we've kind of covered some race week stuff. I mean,
and you haven't asked a lot. It's okay. We can be here for a while.
I know. Hey, I'm ready. Like, y'all tell me what you want to talk about. I'm down. It's 9:00 here. I don't have to be in bed till at least 10.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, what does everybody want to know about us?
Well, I got a question for Mike. Like, what got you into drag racing? What started it for you?
So I'm the same. I've always been a car guy, always and forever. My mom would Hot Wheels are cheap. So, and my mom, oh yeah, single mom. So when we would go to the store, once a week, my brother and I could get a Hot Wheels. And so, it started there. And then, you can see I've still got, I've got 400 or 500 on the shelf over there. I've got a whole bunch on the wall on that side. And so the podcast build out will have all of that, have a bunch of Hot Wheels that I've bought as an adult. Like, I've got some from when I was a kid, but mostly those were played with. These are ones I buy now,
I will admit I do still play with Hot Wheels.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I have no qualms about it. We host Hot Wheels drag races at the charity events and stuff. It's too much fun. So I was always a car guy, and then we had a neighbor that kind of had some cool stuff, and then I moved to Northwest Arkansas to live with my dad and my grandmother here. If I wanted to go to a car show, all I had to do was ask her, and she would 2 hours, didn't matter. If I heard about a car show, we were going, Cool. And so anytime we ever did anything, it was like that. And then my old truck, my 66, was my grandfather's, her husband's. And so he drove it every day for 25 years and then parked it as I turned 12. So as I'm a 12-year-old, this truck is sitting there, short bed, big back glass, 66 GMC. I was like, that's what I want. So for 2 years, I mowed yards and did whatever they told me to. And then, ended up gathering money, putting the truck back together because, he had wore it out. It was just a wore out old truck.
Yeah.
And so once they said I could have that, it was over. I was a done car guy, I'm in. Yeah. So that's where it started for me.
You should tell them about the 56, the backstory on before you gave it to me for my Christmas present.
Okay, so his 56 actually came from one of the guys that was a neighbor at one of our shops, and he comes dragging this old Chevy in, and my buddy and I are looking at it like, wow, man, that's a good car right there. No engine trans in it, and the clip was missing, but it's really solid. The floors are solid in it. There's minimal rust. There's enough that you can learn how to fix it, but there's a rust in it. And I was just thinking that'd be a great car for someone that wanted to build a patina car or something of that nature. And so we asked the guy, you want to sell that? Nah, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to build this. And he's, we're like, well, that's fine, And I don't know, several months later, he's like, hey, you want to buy that car? I'm ready to sell it. So I bought it and stashed it away, knowing I'd give it to him when the time was right. And this is 3 or 4 years prior to him even getting it, And so I took it up to Brew's place that is on here with us, Rob's place. And he knew all about it. Like, hey, we need to kind of hide this so when Blayne comes up here, he doesn't know, what it is. And so meanwhile, we've been kind of gathering parts and, behind his back, like this is stuff we took off. This will work. We'll just throw all this in a pile, and we've been gathering parts. And then I took a couple pictures of it and put it in a frame and wrapped it up for Christmas with the title in it, and gave it to him for Christmas one year.
That's too cool.
Yeah. So
that
it
is
was
too
pretty
cool.
fun. Like he knew right away what it was. Like, normal people like, it's a picture of an old 56 in a field. Like, what is this?
And then I saw the title and then I was like, wait, what is this? And then I got like into it. I was like, oh, I got it now.
That is too cool.
Like, wait, where is this car at?
Yeah.
Because I knew it was in a field, and then I saw other cars next to it, and I was like, that's at Bruce's house.
Yeah, so we figured out where we'd been stashing and everything. Is pretty fun.
That's too cool. That is too cool.
Pretty fun. So, yeah.
Wow.
Well, good, man.
Yeah, that's really neat. It's going to be a ton of fun watching him grow, but then also what that does like for y'all's relationship and then everybody in the world. I mean, we've got like 35 people on here, so all these people that have been in and out all night watching parts of this and stuff like that, they'll end up, hopefully dragging their kids along to some of that stuff. Our kids have always.
So. I enjoy seeing all the kids around and letting them do things. That was one thing that was brought to my attention that I just took for granted is like, dude, you're strapped in the car and that kid is making changes there and you're good with that. I'm like, yeah. He's just changing air pressure or tightening the jam nut or putting a turn in the bar. Like, it's fine. I mean, I'm good with it. And that blows people's minds. Like, you're relying on a kid. Aren't you worried about that? Like, not for a second. I'd be worried if you were doing it, but he's doing it. I'm good with it.
Yep. It's funny, and this is probably a little more political than what we want to get into here, but like a 12-year-old 50 years ago is way different than a 12-year-old now.
I agree.
So like, a lot of times we treat kids of that age group like they're still kids, but they're young adults,
Well, I put him in cars and trucks and like we're moving trailers and
he makes me drive stuff.
Like get in there and go get that truck and go cook it to that trailer and get that sumbitch out of the way. And okay. And he goes and does it, and he does the back up the trailer and get out and go see where the ball's at, get back in the truck, get back out, and that's life. That's a life lesson. Like, you got to hook it up. And we were moving dirt piles out back here and we put some recycled asphalt down and he's in a skid steer and I'm in a skid steer and we're just working together. Like, get in that tractor and figure out how to go. Well, I don't know how to drive it. Well, get in there and figure it out and you better not run into anything.
And then he tells me, and then the next time I'm like, I want to go do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like labor. It feels like you're having fun doing something.
Well, it's all got to be done, whether I do it or you have to do it. Somebody's got to do it. And if you want to go race tomorrow, you better get your ass in that tractor and let's go do this, So, and Bruce treats him the same way. Mikey treats him the same way. There's a group of us that run together pretty hard, and he is just one of the guys. Mom expects the same out of him. Like, you need to get your ass out there, go mow that grass and get that done before Dad gets home, so we can get on to other things, and important stuff like race car stuff. Right. That's awesome.
That
is huge. My wife is a big part of all of this. Like, you better get that damn car done so we can go to Florida. I'm like, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get this stuff done. We're trying to get this out. And she was on me last night. Did you get that transmission out? Is Brad expecting it? Like, yeah, it's out. It's going, So
that's awesome.
She is a big part of this. She doesn't think I give her any credit. And she is a huge part of this whole thing, and unfortunately she can't take time off as much as we'd like to and be a part of all of it, but she pushes us to go do it. So that's super cool. Cause like at some point, like them kids may not live there. That's what I'm going through right now. Like we're
My daughter's 11, going to be 12 soon. You know, she's
Yep.
going to, she's as soon as she's able to, she's going to fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other one may hang out a little bit, and she's our
Yep.
future crew chief for sure. She hangs out here in the shop with me quite a bit. She's 8. And
Yeah.
so at least for a little while, that's still cool, you know?
You know, I've had a lot of people ask me like, how young did you bring Blayne along? And I don't know how to answer it because we just did.
Yeah.
And
For
I guess,
always.
you know, I mean, he's always wanted to go. It wasn't like you have to go with us. Like he wanted to go.
And
And Michaela the same way, you know.
when he went to the Detroit for the Riddler Award, I was like, Dad, can I go? And he was like, sorry, bud, you gotta stay home and do school. And I realized that I had to do it, but I was also like sad that I had to stay home.
Right.
Detroit he was looking back, he was probably old enough to do that. Yeah, that's Michaela.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I wish I'd shown this picture earlier.
Yeah, that's Mac. That's me and by my dad's Packard. Yeah, I was proud of that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's fun. That's super fun.
That's neat. I need to bring more pictures and stuff like that into these because there's some
Totally,
really cool stories.
Totally I guess the biggest thing is I don't force this on them. It's their own choice. You know, you mean, you can come with, and if you don't want to, it's okay. But don't tell me you want to be there and then gripe at me all week that you don't want to be there because we're here. You know.
Yep.
But having somebody along to be with me like is there's nothing like it. It's cool, man.
Well, and what's really cool is like, you know, you don't realize it right now, but like in 20 years, what that relationship will have done, you know?
Yeah.
So my dad traveled a ton when we were kids. He was a truck driver and always had, you know, busy long hour jobs and stuff like that. And so, you know, he wasn't around much. And then my parents divorced. And so then he wasn't around at all, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's cool to like be able to spend time now. Him and I have had a great relationship, you know, as adults, and we're good friends and did a ton of this kind of stuff together. So Jay here saying just sent one to college. Enjoy every minute you can. The time flies. Yeah,
that's for sure. That totally is for sure.
Yep. And then CP saying behind every great man is a great woman. Congrats to Miss Stark for being supportive.
That is true.
Yep. That's pretty awesome. So and Rich here, I think this is probably a good one. I am absolutely freezing here in the shop. I think it has dropped like 15 degrees since I've been in here.
Oh, dang it.
And I have no propane for the heater either. So us Arkansas boys, we weren't ready for this, you know, 40-degree weather that's coming out. I think it's probably 60 in the shop, which is cold to me.
Yeah.
He said, so great to get to know the Starks better. Thanks for hosting them. I'm so glad you guys came on. I'm so glad we spent 2.5 hours together.
We're honored to be here. I appreciate it. I didn't think anybody'd care to know what we're doing here. So. Oh,
he's muted.
Oh, you must be muted, bud.
You're muted, brother. What did you do?
How about that? Is that better? Am I back?
Yeah, there we go. Yep.
Nope.
We can hear you.
God dang it. Hang on. What the hell happened? Okay. This is going to sound
we can hear you on this side. I'm not sure what happened.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It shows you can hear me. Dang. The problem is I can't hear you because my laptop speakers suck. Let me plug this back in. Hang on. But I can't hear anybody else.
Nope. That may be it, guys.
Is it there? We hear you now.
That's too funny. I don't know what happened.
That's a sign.
We're out of time, boys. We can't hear you, brother. Oh boy.
He went to turn the heater on.
Calling in backup. Brother, I need your spare set of headphones. As you can see in the background, his beautiful collection of Hot Wheels.
totally can. Yeah.
What you got back there, dude?
Dead batteries. That's what I think
Probably.
Too. Must be you and I. We're still live right now. Well, I'm glad everyone enjoyed it. It's 55 in Connecticut, huh, Jay? That's good.
That'd be a little cold.
Hey,
Yeah.
you got homework, brother?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure what's up here.
We'll wait.
Let's wait it up, I guess, for another minute or two and see if Mike comes back on. Thanks, CP. I appreciate that. Thanks for the support there. I hate suspension. Good night, Bill. Thanks for watching, man. I appreciate it. Rich, good to see you too. It looks like Mike's dropped off. Yeah, Streetcar Chronicles. I'm not sure what's up there.
Oh,
maybe we're back up.
What the heck happened there? I have no idea.
There you are, brother.
What did you do?
Dude, I don't know. My headset just stopped working. Like it won't do anything. So this is
That's
fun.
a tough break.
Yeah, man, it's rough. It's because you guys are gonna have to deal with my crappy phone camera now. So
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all
sorry.
good, man.
So what I miss?
Nothing.
Everybody was in suspense. We're talking about 55 degrees in Connecticut, and Bill checked out on us, and Rich checked out. But I think we're about there, aren't we?
Yep. I think so. I think that'll end it. I'm gonna end up because now we're on the crappy screen, and it's got to be chopping for those guys. I can only see the video here. That's horrible. So
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Y'all, thank you very much. I really do appreciate you hanging out, and we're gonna do this again. Tom, I really do want to have you back on for the segment of Business of Burnouts,
Sure.
which is car related automotive businesses. So
Sure.
huh?
Yeah, just no problem, man. Love to be on.
Yeah, dude,
No.
it's
That was a lot of fun.
yeah, it's a blast. I love being live. Y'all stay with me. We're gonna close it out from everybody else. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate everyone's support, man, and
Thanks, guys.
look forward to seeing everybody at the next race.
Yes, certainly. All right, I'm gonna